Hey, how we doing, everybody? This is Domo Galarza, back with our guest, Tony Roman. It's 1:50 p.m. As of right now, we're going to be talking about Brooklyn in the 80s. We have an article right here of 55 revealing photos of the 1980s Brooklyn that show how the borough changed throughout the decade. Tony, before we get into this article, how do you think Brooklyn changed throughout the years?
It started to change in the 1990s. I remember, a lot of I guess, people that have money they invested in Brooklyn. They started to buy some of the old buildings and renovated them, fix them up and everything. And they started to change certain sections of Brooklyn, of course. I was telling you earlier that most of Brooklyn has been invested, changed, and the rent went up and everything like that. But my neighborhood, as far as I know, has not. It's like they neglected my neighborhood. Like they said, no, it's not worth investing in that section of Brooklyn. But everywhere else, yes, there's investments.
Every city's got that one area that they just neglect. It's like in that show, The Wire, Amsterdam. They keep those three neighborhoods like shitholes, like infested with drug dealers, so they can keep all the other neighborhoods safe.
Same thing over here. I just realized too. I just remember. It's same thing in Worcester. How the city is aware about Main South. Yeah. They keep Main South is the way it is because they want it like that. Yeah. With the homelessness and the drug use, drug dealers or whatever. And I was wondering, like, why is it that they don't invest in Main South? Because they, like you said, they need a section where they can keep people in one area, so they can keep an eye on them, and they stay in that area. As long as you don't go to, example, as long as you don't go to Salisbury, as long as you go to Salisbury Street, we good, we cool. Well, they don't. You won't see homeless people in this area because. That's how it is. It's, Salisbury. We all know. So,
and then they put one thing that they will invest in to make it look like it's getting better, but then it's like it's noisy.
Yeah, I mean, Main South, Main South throughout the years I've seen it, it's still. You could feel it.
It's tough. Yeah,
you could feel it. It's still only you see it.
Yeah,
I walk up and down that neighborhood, and I still feel the same as when I first walked through that neighborhood in the 1980s. So it has not changed. That feeling is still there.
Yeah, man. I will give Main South this, though. They kind of work with what they have. They have, like, Vietnamese stores. They got Colombian stores. They got, Greek churches. Yeah, so I will...
Like, what would you consider Main South? Like, what's, like, technically, like, the, like, geographical... Like, where does it begin one day?
It begins, because I live in downtown. So
yeah, right.
It begins,
maybe at that Chandler, like, where?
Kirsch Liquor. Used as a landmark. You know Kirsch Liquor?
Yeah.
Right there, Chandler, right?
China, man, yeah.
That's the beginning. If you go forward from that point, that's all Main South. So,
Clark, I would say?
Clark is in Main South.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, you go all the way down, it goes towards the end.
Like Stafford?
Right, no, before that's Webster Square. Yeah, it's the beginning of Webster Square.
Okay.
It goes already. Okay, so where
would you say, like, before you like the apartment complex right there?
Yeah. That's the end of it. That's the end of it.
Okay.
So you know where it is.
Yeah.
The two buildings that you look the same.
Yeah.
It's like
it's like you got that little Irish bar, the order. That is a little Caesars. Yeah, I'll stop right there. Yeah. All right.
So that's the end of Main South right there. But so all of that, Clark University. I'm trying to remember what other places. There's so many. The YMCA. All that is Main South.
The Gala.
Yeah. So the beginning is with Kirsch Liquor. It's hard to say, but it's right there, and you go forward, and that's Main South.
Oh no, Gala wouldn't be considered Main South, then, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, Gala's
got it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, all that's Main South.
Okay.
All that's Main South. All that. Damn. So it's
It is what it is. Yeah, sure. Having our Salvation Army there.
Yeah. All right, see what Brooklyn looked like before the hipsters moved in and gentrification took hold.
Yeah,
Nostalgia for the 1980s has been widespread in recent years. Perhaps those who grew up during that decade are looking back fondly on their childhood, or maybe there was something magical about that time. Regardless, it's hard not to think of the things like big hair, neon leg warmers, and shoulder pads when the 80s are brought up. But for New York City, and especially its most populous borough, those things didn't paint the full picture. While Wall Street breathed in a new wave of artists colonized downtown Manhattan, Brooklyn was being pulled into vastly different directions. Prospering creativity and urban decay.
Yeah.
So, was there something magical about the 80s?
What do you mean?
I don't know if it's nostalgia talking, but I go back on the 80s, people had this self-assurance you don't see nowadays. The women are gorgeous. People seem more relaxed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you was more relaxed compared to now. If you're compared to 2026. Oh yeah, way more relaxed.
You can actually say funny jokes that it might be a little out there, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not everybody's in an uproar about fucking joke because people are pussies, you know?
Oh yeah, I've seen the stand-up like Andrew Dice Clay, Eddie Clay,
the liar.
and the wrestling too. I saw Greg the Hammer Valentine. He was like, "I'm gonna kill that nasty black."
Yeah, Greg, I remember Valentine.
Oh, yeah.
I remember him. Yeah.
I think Roddy Piper painted himself half black.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if Roddy.
Roddy is. Do you know how people they like Randy Savage? Yeah, Randy
Yeah,
Savage.
right. It's like Randy or Hogan. And it's like, nah, like I think Roddy's okay. So
Exactly. Well,
I think he needed the heel. You know?
but before that, it was Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
I thought, he was a trip.
Plus that movie that came out.
They live. Oh my God! To this day, that movie has become a cult classic.
Yep.
And it breaks down certain things that now we can relate to, and now what's going on in our world. Which I don't know if it was it is a movie. Who directed it? John Carpenter.
Great.
It's funny. He knew I guess he had a vision because he did that movie. And yeah, I remember it wasn't that popular when it first came out. But like any other movie over the years, it has now people are following it and they can relate to it. Now they go, oh yeah, that's what we're going through right now.
Right.
You know, like similar to the Matrix. Same thing, that we live in a matrix that it's a made up world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another. That's another thing of the article was talking about gentrification. I feel like that was like part of it because all these corporations were buying the buildings.
Yeah.
Corporations were buying everything. Yeah.
It's in the mob. I remember when in the 1990s. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw this movie, Boys in the Hood. Remember that movie, Boys in the Hood? Yeah. Remember he's talking about we need to keep everything in our neighborhood black.
I remember that he gave him a lecture.
Yeah. Lawrence Fishburne was great at that movie. Scary movie in general.
Yeah. He gave him a lecture about keeping the neighborhood to the people.
Yeah.
That we have to,
Everybody else does, but
they're gonna come in here and they're gonna
they do what they do. They put a gun store. They do this. They do that, and they just want.
Hey, how we doing, everybody? This is Domo Galarza back with our guest, Tony Roman. It's 1:50 p.m. As of right now, we're going to be talking about Brooklyn in the 80s. We have an article right here of 55 reviewing photos of the 1980s Brooklyn that show how the borough changed throughout the decade. Tony, before we get into this article, how do you think Brooklyn changed throughout the years?
It started to change in the 1990s. I remember, a lot of I guess people that have money they invested in Brooklyn. They started to buy some of the old buildings and renovated them, fix them up and everything. And they started to change certain sections of Brooklyn, of course. I was telling you earlier that most of Brooklyn has been invested, changed, and the rent went up and everything like that. But my neighborhood, as far as I know, has not. It's like they neglected my neighborhood. Like they said, no, it's not worth investing in that section of Brooklyn. But everywhere else, yes, there's investments.
Every city's got this one area that they just neglect. It's like in that show The Wire, Amsterdam. they keep those three neighborhoods like shitholes, like infested with drug dealers, so they can keep all the other neighborhoods safe.
Same thing over here. I just realized, so I just remember. It's same thing in Worcester. How the city is aware about Main South.
Yeah.
They keep Main South is the way it is because they want it like that.
Yeah.
With the homelessness and the drug use, drug dealers and whatever. And I was wondering, like, why is it that they don't invest in Main South? Because they, like you said, they need a section where they can keep people in one area, so they can keep an eye on them, and they stay in that area. As long as you don't go to, as long as you don't go to Salisbury, as long as you go to Salisbury Street, we good, we cool. Well, they don't. You won't see homeless people in this area because. That's how it is. It's, Salisbury. Shit, we all know. So,
and then they put one thing that they will invest in to make it look like it's getting better, but then it's like it's naughty.
Yeah, I mean, Main South bread circuses.
Yeah,
Main South. Throughout the years I've seen it, it's still. You could feel it.
it's tough. Yeah,
You could feel it. It's still only you see it.
yeah.
I walk up and down the neighborhood, and I still feel the same as when I first walked through that neighborhood in the 1980s. So it has not changed. That feeling is still there.
Yeah, man. I will give Main South this though. They kind of work with what they have. They have like Vietnamese stores. They got Colombian stores. They got, Greek churches. Yeah. So I will
Like, who would you consider Main South? Like, what's like technically like the geographical? Like, where does it begin? One day?
It begins because I live in downtown. So
Yeah, right.
it begins
At that Chandler, like where?
Kirsch Liquor, used as a landmark. You know Kirsch Liquor?
Yeah,
Right there, Chandler, right? You get on
right, man. Yeah.
That's the beginning. If you go forward from that point, that's all Main South.
So Clark, I would say.
Yeah, Clark is in Main South.
Okay.
Yeah. Now
So-
you go all the way down. It goes towards the end.
Like Stafford.
Right. No, before that's Webster Square. Yeah, it's the beginning of Webster Square.
Okay.
It goes all the way. Okay, so where?
Would you say like before you like the apartment complex right there?
Yeah. That's the end of it. That's the end of it.
Okay.
So you know where it is.
yeah.
The two buildings that you look the same.
Yeah.
It's like a
housing. It's like you got that little Irish bar, the order. That is a little Caesars. Yeah, I'll stop right there. Yeah, all right.
So that's the big thing. That's the end of Main South right there. But so all of that, Clark University. I'm trying to remember what other. There's so many. The YMCA. All that's Main South. The
Gala.
Yeah. So the beginning is with Kirsch Liquors. It's hard to say, but it's right there, and you go forward, and that's Main South.
Oh no, Gala wouldn't be considered Main South then, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, Gala's
Got yeah.
really?
Yeah. All that's Main South.
Okay.
All that's Main South. All that.
Damn.
So it's yeah.
There's what it is. So. Yeah, sure. Having our Salvation Army there. Yeah.
All right. See what Brooklyn looked like before the hipsters moved in and gentrification took hold.
Yeah, they
Nostalgia for the 80s, so the 1980s has been widespread in recent years. Perhaps those who grew up during that decade are looking back fondly on their childhood, or maybe there was something magical about that time. Regardless, it's hard not to think of the things like big hair, neon leg warmers, and shoulder pads when the 80s are brought up. But for New York City, and especially its most populous borough, those things didn't paint the full picture. While Wall Street breathed in a new wave of artists colonized downtown Manhattan, Brooklyn was being pulled into vastly different directions. Prospering creativity and urban decay.
yeah.
So was there something magical about the 80s?
What do you mean?
I don't know if it's nostalgia talking, but I go back on the 80s, people had this self-assurance you don't see nowadays. The women are gorgeous. People seem more relaxed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we was more relaxed compared to now. If you're compared to 2026, oh yeah, way more relaxed.
You can actually say funny jokes that it might be a little out there, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Not everybody's in an uproar about fucking joke because people are pussies, you know?
Oh yeah. I've seen the stand-up like Andrew Dice Clay, Eddie Clay, and
Liar.
the wrestling too. I saw Greg the Hammer Valentine. He's like, I'm gonna kill that nasty black.
Yeah, Greg, the remember Valentine. Oh yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
I think Roddy Piper painted himself half black.
Oh
yeah, black.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know Roddy.
Roddy was Do you know how people they like Randy Savage?
Yeah,
Randy
yeah,
Savage.
right. It's either Randy or Hogan, and it's like, nah, like I think Roddy's okay. So it's like, well, I think he needed the heel, you know.
But before that, it was Roddy Piper. I thought, he was a trip.
Plus that movie that came out.
That movie, They Live. Oh my God! To this day, that movie has become a cult classic.
Yep.
And it breaks down certain things that now we can relate to, and now what's going on in our world. Which I don't know if it is a movie. Who directed it? John Carpenter.
Great.
It's funny. He knew I guess he had a vision because he did that movie. And I remember it wasn't that popular when it first came out. But like any other movie over the years, it has now people are following it and they can relate to it. Now they go, oh yeah, that's what we're going through right now.
Right.
You know, like similar to the Matrix. Same thing, that we live in a matrix that it's a made up world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another. That's another thing of like, the article was talking about gentrification. I feel like that was like part of it because all these corporations were buying the buildings.
Yeah.
Corporations were buying everything. Yeah.
In them up. I remember when in the 1990s.
Yeah. I saw this movie, Boys in the Hood. Remember that movie, Boys in the Hood? Yeah. Remember he's talking about we need to keep everything in our neighborhood black.
I remember that he gave him a lecture.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne was great at that movie. Scary movie in general.
Yeah. He gave the lecture about keeping the neighborhood to the people.
Yeah.
That we have to,
Everybody else does, but
they're gonna come in here and they're gonna
they do what they do. They put a gun store. They do this. They do that, and they just want you to actually fucking kill each other.
Because it keeps us in line.
Yeah.
Because it's another way of controlling. They're not control you. Listen.
Do you think the reason why Brooklyn is so gentrified now is because they didn't keep it Puerto Rican?
You're funny. I like you. I really like you. I like you.
Yeah.
So like, if I was the other Puerto Rican, I swear, I love you a lot. Don't worry about it. You good. No, we were there and we were dominant in Brooklyn a lot, and now it's changed. The Dominicans came, I think, in the 1990s also. They started, I don't want to say flooding in, I don't use that term, but they came in. And we hope nothing against our Dominican brothers, and they started to buy the
bodegas.
The bodegas were started by us,
The Puerto Rican.
just to let people know. People think that bodegas were like Dominicans or whatever in New York. I said, we started that. That was our bodega.
Yeah.
When we first went to New York, we started opening little businesses. So bodega is our. Now, what happens now is that the Dominicans, I guess the Puerto Ricans that were there before, they decided to retire.
Yeah.
They were done. They did it for 40 years. They're like, okay, I'm going to get the store. If it didn't go to a family, a Dominican came and said, I'll buy it off for you. And they go, okay, fine.
But they're now selling it to like a lot of Lebanese and say that's not sure. Yeah. So they're trying to say it still says bodega, but now they're trying to say it's not a bodega because it's not owned by Puerto Rican or Dominican.
By the way,
So
they're right.
they are.
Dominicans agree. I agree. Okay, so we didn't sell nothing when the Dominicans took it. Now the Dominicans are selling.
Yeah.
And then you said about Lebanese. I don't know if there's any series or Arab. I don't know. I sorry. I want to make sure. I don't know what country, but they think if you talk to like me or somebody that
Even Turkish. They're getting a lot of Turkish delis now.
they kept. What happened was they kept the name, but it's not. It's not.
Yeah, right.
We don't call it a bodega.
Right.
If somebody from the Middle East owns that,
Yeah.
it's not a bodega. Because forget the one that made it was Puerto Rican in New York City.
Right.
That's kind of
Yeah, that's how I feel about like delis. Like to me, I'll be real. I don't think it's a true deli unless it's Italian or Jewish.
Yeah, I get that.
So like,
Okay, in Brooklyn, remember the bodegas were Puerto Rican. The delis were either Jewish.
Italian.
Yeah, that was the thing.
then if it was something else, like you just you could have a Syrian bakery or you could have this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot. But
Yeah, but not.
no, you know what I
No,
mean?
but now, like I said, if you go to New York right now, and we should make a trip one day.
Yeah.
You just
Oh, hell
it's
yeah.
a chill.
No, we'll take the train this time.
Yeah,
So you can. we'll need like 30, 40 to do what we want to do, you know?
Yeah.
So I know
I'm saying,
some shit. That,
if we go there, if I walk into a bodega and I don't see a Puerto Rican or Dominican in there, all right, out here, and I know there's not a bodega. And
and then it's probably like a $10 chopped cheese.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, because we went to the one right near Port Authority, and that place was actually pretty good.
Okay.
But I don't even remember who was running it. Probably like a Middle Eastern.
It was like a Ghanaian guy.
Ghanaian? Yeah.
Oh, you thought of it,
Yeah. I don't know. I think it was a Ghanaian cashier. But I think the guy that was making the sandwiches might have been like either was like Lebanese or Syrian, also the we know that. You know what I mean? Like
I do. Are you? Wait, with Polish?
yeah.
Are you? No, like that. I say, I look at this. What's up? You know, being friendly and nice.
Yeah.
Then I carry and they say, yo,
Just slipping in.
I
Yeah.
say, yo, what are you?
Yeah.
I say, that we could.
And they're gonna be like,
If you ask me, it's yo, what are you? And I'll tell you, I'm not gonna get offended.
Right.
So he's not gonna get offended. But yo, what are you? What country? What you from? And he'll tell me. I've done that so many times, and I haven't met one person get offended.
right.
Yeah, so because they're proud of where they come from.
Right. That's it.
So when you
Yeah.
you acknowledge that,
Right.
they want to they want to talk about it.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's how I am with a lot of like the African Uber drivers. Because like I love talking to them about like what country they're from because I actually like talking about their country because I love telling them that I hate motherfuckers that think Africa's just this one big country and it's not.
Yeah, it's a continent.
Those
People are retards.
no, they are. And I'm like, dude, like you know that like Ghana's on this side and you know that Nigeria is right there
Kenya is on the east side.
on east side, you know.
So you're such an you support black people. Okay, where's Kenya? On the east side of Africa or west side of Africa?
Yeah, I remember that. I met a lot of Kenyans, and they're beautiful people.
Yeah.
Nigerians, Ghana. Yeah, I love them. I just love what they bring to the table.
Right.
When I interact with them,
Yeah.
I love that they bring their culture, their sense of humor. Oh, that's like their sense of humor. I love them. I love them. They have some. I like people that have sense of humor.
I remember one time like a driver was telling me about picking up like these white girls. And he's just like these drunk white bitches. Yeah.
My manager at work, he does Uber on the weekend. He's like Albanian, and he picked up girls from like Leitrim's pub. You know Leitrim's pub?
President Park.
Yeah, Pleasant Park. And he said that the girls that he picks up are mean, drunk, and stupid.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, and but he goes to like 107 Taps down by Kelly Square.
Yeah.
And the girls there are classy, they're nice. Yeah.
Yeah. They know there's a difference. Yeah. And the leeching, right? Called leeching.
With the drums, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so they cater to. Because I see the girls, I see them many times.
18 plus.
They're like 18 plus, and a lot of them are from Assumption College.
Yeah.
They're college kids.
Yeah.
They're from Assumption College. So of course, some of them are makers. Some of them are not even from here.
Yeah.
They're not from this state. They're from out of state.
Yeah.
They go to Assumption College. I'm trying to remember what other college. But I don't know if Booster State goes there. I'm not sure.
I think they all go there, but I see this one girl that goes there. I can see in her eyes that she's just not very intelligent, and every time I've been there, I've seen her.
Okay.
And I've seen the other girls that go there. Oh my god. Ugh.
Yeah.
And listen, the main market that I'm just gonna be completely honest. Yeah. The main market that goes there are skanks. So that's the reason why people go there, because they want cheap. You know,
cheap drinks.
Yeah.
Cheap liquor. Yeah. Liquor now.
Yeah.
You know, guys, hook up with guys. You know.
Yeah, man.
I remember how it is now. I know, well, the dating app help for them to meet up compared to when I grew up. So.
Yeah. So
I'd rather die single and childless than use a dating app.
Yeah. I agree. I haven't used it. Ever since it came out, and I've never been interested in it. It doesn't call my attention. But the younger generation, your generation, I don't know. And the millennials, forget about it. The millennials started that shit. Millennials started that shit. Yeah. Okay. Now I feel. Because I know it wasn't us. No, we didn't start that shit. but they started it.
All right.
Okay, to put it simply, 1980s Brooklyn was a place of transition. Through the borough struggled with crime and economic issues.
That's
Resulting in a cultural boom and vibrant celebrations. And as the pictures show below, it was one of the most dynamic, challenging, and energetic places to be.
Yeah.
Urban decay, the crack epidemic, and the fallout from the 70s.
Also the 70s. Yeah. Oh yeah. The 70s were rough. I mean, I was too young, but I read about it in the 80s. Like, oh yeah, they said, oh you wasn't there in the 70s when I heard it because the urban decay was real.
Yeah, because then they had like a couple weeks where they couldn't do trash.
Yeah.
The ball that's backed up and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
No. In the 70s, I forgot what year. Believe it or not,
they have like
New York City ran out of money.
yeah. Oh, wow. They go bankrupt. Yeah. I remember.
And I remember, growing up in the 80s, I said, for real, this city went bankrupt.
Yeah.
A city. That's the first time I ever heard a city go bankrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was It was in the 70s.
The dawn of the modern decade doesn't erase the years that came before it, and although we might think now of the 80s as louder, better, and more vibrant than the 70s, the scholars of those previous years were still visiting. The New York was in flashes in this 1970s. Economic and political troubles caused unprecedented levels of stress.
Yeah.
The city nearly went bankrupt. Industries were declining. Middle-class families fled to the suburbs.
Yes.
Social services were cut, and waves of arson and an increase in
Fires.
theft. It was a terrible mark on Brooklyn neighborhoods like Bushwick and Bedford Stuyvesant.
Yeah, it's just they call it Ben-Stuy. Yeah, they call it Ben-Stuy. That's short. Ben-Stuy.
Before you go any further,
The arson was this wave of arson. You know who was doing that? They told me it was the landlords.
Yeah.
Because okay, let me explain, guys. You guys don't know this history, but I heard and I was told that those fires were started by the landlords. Why? Because I guess it was more profitable to burn down the building and collect the insurance.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's all
income stuff.
that they collect the rent.
Yeah.
So that's why I grew up in a neighborhood. I remember, and we had a lot of abandoned buildings. A lot of them were burned.
Yeah.
And I found out that the landlord was doing that.
Just to let the
It
issue.
wasn't like he sent somebody.
Right.
He sent somebody, paid them, sent somebody to stop the fire.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Sad thing is like those probably never even got caught or they never got time.
I don't think so. As far as I know, those people that started the fire,
I'm so fucking skeptical when shit happens because it's like, dude, like when a building, when 9/11 happens, talking about who the fuck is the guy again that owned the building?
Larry Silverstein.
Larry Silverstein.
well, I heard about him.
Yeah, I heard. The date doesn't show up to work. And guess what happens?
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's an insurance, dude, like, that's what pisses me off about insurance more than anything. It's not there to help you. It's about it's about saving the billionaires and the millionaires. And
But just to let you know, that part they don't tell you there, but a lot of those fires were caused by landlords. And they just, because the economy crashed in the 70s. A lot of people, they don't know that.
Yeah.
And the landlord, they figure if they burn the property, they get the insurance money. And that's exactly what happened.
They didn't care. I just got to know that.
Yeah, and the thing about life light and people were going to the suburbs. I feel like that was like part of the course of like New York. The New York area in general. Was our friend Mo. He was like the last white family on his block.
Yeah.
And this is something I noticed about like the culture of the 80s. I feel like white flight caused like white boy culture. Heavy metal. Skateboarding. What else?
What, the Beastie Boys?
Beastie Boys. Shit like that.
I love the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, that sort of brought that like edge to it.
Yeah, I did. They all like punk rock. Punk. Yeah. In the beginning of the 80s, it was punk rock, and of course skateboarding and that culture. Also.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then of course the Beastie Boys came right up. Well, Beastie Boys I think they were doing, what was it, music before they did rap? Punk. It was a punk.
It was punk. Yeah.
Yeah, before you don't know that. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that Beastie Boys they started as punk.
You hear a lot of like punk influence in the music. Yeah, actually, yeah.
So I remember that. A lot of people don't know that. I hope that people do their music history. about certain groups, and you'll find out.
Oh yeah, because yeah, and like the punk in general. I don't know if I can continue because Alex.
Yeah, we got you're right. So play.
We can
pause it or not.
it's up to you.
I'll pause it. Fuck it. Hey, we're back. We're not gonna wait for Alex to come out. We're just gonna go wing it. So, by the early 1980s, parts of Bushwick almost looked like a war zone. The 1977 blackout riots, had accelerated the onload.
Yes,
Leaving behind rubble-strewn lots and hollowed-out buildings. Excuse me, in some communities.
yes.
As writer Dennis Chavez pointed out in a blog post for the New York City Department of Records, by 1975, Bushwick had already suffered 4,000 fires, 900 most likely from arson, land walls up to make it fast forward. They want to do it. It's like happened on July 13th, 1977, but the scene for looting and arson had long ago been established. The damage done during 24 hours of the blackout in Bushwick accounted for 88 stores looted and 38 set on fire.
Yeah, damn. I forgot about the blackout, even though I was a kid. I was a kid, so I don't remember. But they told me afterward. There was New York City had the whole city.
Who saved New York City? I'm sorry. No.
Really, Julian, I think he's the guy that kind of turned New York.
That was
It's a creep.
But what about Ed? I remember Mayor Ed Koch. I remember him.
Yeah, he sounded familiar. That's why I was like,
In the 1980s, Mayor Ed Koch invested $58 million into new public housing in the Bushwick area, which led to a small amount of recovery, but wasn't enough to restore it to how it had been decades prior.
The 70s.
Do you think Mamdani, or whatever his name is kind of turning New York City around, doing,
No, he's going to destroy. My opinion, he's going to destroy New York. The New York that I know, he's going to destroy it.
So now gentrify it and shit?
It's getting worse. I don't like it. I don't like the direction that
what is it though? Like strictly, is it about like a lot of? Because we've had this conversation. Okay, I think Muslims are individually awesome, but as a collective, it's scary.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think I can agree to that.
So I think that's where they're having open mosque in Times Square, but then if you want to do a protest, they're gonna shut you down. Like that's where now it's not safe.
And by the way, I don't know if Mandani, I mean that he's a real Muslim.
Oh, he can't be a real Muslim because maybe he's like a culturally Muslim.
Yeah, I mean, I can't support gay narratives if you're Muslim.
Yeah, it's about thank you.
Like you can't.
It's true, if you're Muslim,
yeah,
you're not gonna support gay marriage.
Mao doesn't support gay marriage.
So Mandani is not a real Muslim.
Yeah.
I could tell. I could feel like he's a politician.
Yeah.
He's a magician. That's what he is.
Yeah.
Or a chameleon.
Yeah, chameleon.
Chameleon.
Yeah, it's like just like a girl Kamala.
At the same time, all of New York City was dealing with the widespread crack epidemic.
Yeah.
Crack cocaine. Yeah, running through vulnerable communities with especially terrifying speed, turning some street corners into open-air drug markets. For many people, their daily routines became a lesson in survival, and ordinary citizens were forced to step up to address crime when the authorities wouldn't, leading to organizations like the Guardian Angels. You hear them?
I remember I grew up with the Guardian Angels. They were all over my neighborhood. I would see them in the tree, whatever. It was started. I forget who started it, but he, Guardian Angel takes founder. Oh, Curtis. Yeah, that was his name. Yeah, and then his wife Lisa. See that? So they started it. It was just like a citizen patrol.
I'm laughing at the next line. Sorry.
A citizen patrol. So they would go in these carts, the train carts, and I just stay there and
Just make sure people
were safe,
Okay, the idea would watch basically.
Yeah, watch. Yeah, but in the city, in the trees, in the especially the subway, because there was a lot of mugging. There's still and now it's getting worse. Now it's getting worse. I feel like it's going back. It's going back to the 70s.
Yeah,
it's reverting back to where crime was out of control. Yeah. So and again, Mandani ain't gonna do nothing for that.
Yeah.
So that's how
I see a lot of like videos of the streets just being crowded with like fucking like panhandlers, and people selling like fake Gucci bag. Like you even saw that like Times Square when we were there, and it's like, and it's like, dude, like you gotta make your money, but fuck, dude, like I'm not trying to.
but not at the expense of the New York City residents that they live there, they live and breathe and die there.
Yeah.
You know, but again, they elected this guy, so all I say is good luck with that idea, because I will see New York getting better in the next few years.
Brooklyn effectively cheated on the edge of becoming an East Coast Detroit.
Yeah, see,
I laughed. I'm like, oh fuck, like okay, let's step that up.
Yeah, it was that bad.
Damn.
Additionally, the racial tensions that simmered throughout the decade sometimes exploded into horrific violence. In 1989, for example, a black teenager named Yusuf Hawkins was shot to death in the then predominantly Italian neighborhood of Bensonhurst. I remember sparking demonstrations led by Hawkins' parents and activists like the Reverend Al Sharpton.
Yeah, I remember.
I've never heard anything about Al Sharpton.
No, I know who he is. Yeah.
Protesters were harassed with jeers and racial slurs, and Sharpton was eventually stabbed in the chest with a steak knife at one point as he prepared to protest.
Damn.
He's probably insecure about having all this black, genes in his veins when he went after the Moors invaded Italy.
Yeah.
Something I noticed, have you guys noticed that like Italians, like New York Italians, are the most racist fucking people ever? More racist than they're probably more racist than like the Southerners I grew up with, dude.
Probably, but remember also you have to understand the culture.
They call it Italian. They try to keep it pure.
They try to keep it.
They try to keep it. Yes, and then everything Come on, that's why I mean, be nice. Yeah, but that's why it's weird that black people of that type of culture. It's weird because like it's very weird for like the way that Italians would speak on black people, and the fact that they call themselves after all these Italian gangsters and the gang, the mafia, and all this shit. It's weird,
Then again, they kind of, I feel like they see that white people are white people at the end of the day.
So it did not, and I think that shit needs to stop more than anything.
That's probably the way they see it. I don't know.
I can tell you, not going to speak when I was there in the 80s, that a lot of the Italians, they had, they got their own culture, and they did their neighborhood watch.
Yeah,
that's why. When you were an outsider, it doesn't matter you were black or whoever. If you were an outsider and they didn't recognize you, they said, "What do you do here? Like, what's your business?"
Yeah,
and
I figured the Bronx too, like right away.
Like that. Similar to that. Similar to the Bronx too. With Robert De Niro.
Yeah, De Niro.
That was a good movie.
That's a great movie.
It talks about a
lot of the life lessons.
So and also the gangster life. Yeah, the Italian mafia. It's real.
Yeah.
It's real. Like if you go to a store and they don't want you, they say you gotta go. And then if you get offended, they're like, you better go. You better go.
Cause then you got like that scene with the Hells Angels when they were,
they closed the door
and find out you just fucked them off. Yeah,
that means that they were not leaving there alive, whatever. They beat the fuck out of it. They beat with bats and I don't know what the hell, knives. Yeah, that's how it was in the Bronx.
That's that you gotta respect shops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you have to respect shops. Yeah, you have to. You can't just think in there. Because I'm this race or ethnicity. I can say nah. You still have to respect. But to say, spaces. Those are their spaces, and you have to respect. That's it.
Yeah, like that's like going to George Dairy and you're, oh, what's up, cake? Like, you gotta,
you go into their plate.
Like, cake, make me the sandwich. Like I see you walking to the whole shop.
Hey, Gook, make you a sandwich.
Exactly. It's like, you gotta respect.
Oh, yeah. But that's where cultures are, I think they're eventually getting to a point of like, hey, we're just all trying to be one big happy blended family, but it's just, fatigue is real sometimes,
Fatigue, we get to that point now that I'm noticing a fatigue.
Yeah.
With all the people are getting tired.
Yeah, the political correctness.
Yeah, and somebody had enough. Because it's not normal.
Yeah.
But
The people that make the racial jokes have more well-rounded group of people that are actually like different than them.
Yeah.
Rather than like when you meet white liberal women, they just have other white liberal friends.
Yeah.
Or if you meet fucking blue-haired girls,
Yeah.
like the blue-haired progressives, that's all they fucking have.
That's a girl me and my friends went to an QCC with. My black friend told me that him and his other black friend were hanging out with her at the mall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were making black jokes to each other, and she said, "No, I don't like that. No." And they're like, "No," and they're like, "Hey, we're black. We can make this joke." So no, that's ignorant. I don't like ignorance.
Yeah.
Like, fuck
It's
you.
like, wait, hold on a second, sweetheart.
Hmm.
You as a white person are telling black people to not have pride with their race. If they're joking around about their race, that they should have pride about their race because it makes you, a white person, uncomfortable? What does that sound like?
Yeah.
Dude,
Right.
you know what people, like all white people who hate the Black Panthers? They don't like that black people are having pride in their race.
Right.
That's the reason why you hear people calling Malcolm X a black supremacist, because they don't want black people or minorities in general to have pride.
Yeah.
And as for like the political correctness thing, my mom was like genuinely liberal. And when she came to Atlanta, you know where she'd only hung out in? The Asian neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Yeah. Okay.
So if I ever move to Atlanta, I'll move to the Asian neighborhood. So we'll see. Brooklyn's cultural richness amidst the chaos. Even as Brooklyn struggled with crime and economic problems, the borough's immigrant communities maintained strong cultural traditions.
Yes, true.
The early 1980s was an especially fruitful time to witness these celebrations. The Brooklyn Rediscovery Folk Life Study Project, conducted from 1980 to 1983, documented this cultural boom. The project focused on neighborhoods such as Williamsburg, Bed-Stuy, and Bay Ridge, and documented various traditions from different communities, including celebrations of the Italian American Jiggler Fest, the Caribbean American West Indian Day Parade, and the Jewish Sukkot holiday.
Yeah.
Some of these traditions were and still are massive events. The Italian American Giglio Feast, in Williamsburg runs for 12 days in July, culminating with the dancing of the Giglio, a flower-laden steeple of wood over 80 feet high, carried through the streets by hundreds of men. You guys had the Puerto Rican Day Parade, right?
Yeah, we have that.
Well, that's just huge.
We have with the thing is a parade. I think if I'm correct, if it's still on schedule, it's in June.
Yeah.
It's just coming up. So there is a Puerto Rican parade that we have. We've been having it for many years, and people come out.
No, it's crazy. Yeah.
They all come out. They just want to have fun.
Yeah.
We want to have fun.
For sure, it's like St. Patrick's Day.
And guess what? We show up too to St. Patty's. A lot of Puerto Rican, he loves St. Patty's. Oh, we show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we show up.
What's crazy is I think like a lot of cultures that are actually connected to Catholicism actually stick together. Yeah, a lot of people actually give them credit.
Yeah.
So we all believe in as Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Through Catholicism. So it's like, all right, fuck it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I might be white, but we're both believers in Jesus Christ.
A lot of Vietnamese are Catholic too.
Yeah. Which I found out. Yeah.
But
That's true.
West Indian Day Parade, meanwhile, occurs over Labor Day weekend, brings elaborate costumes, steel pan ensembles, and countless spectators to Eastern Parkway and Crown Heights.
Eastern Heights. Yeah.
Yes, sir. The project documented African Americans, Greek Americans, Polish Americans, Puerto Ricans, Irish Americans, Chinese Americans, Ukrainian Americans, and many other Brooklynites, capturing uniquely urban folk life practices such as pigeon flying and games like Bocce.
I know, by the way. I played bocce.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
These cultural celebrations represented the profound impact of placemaking, transforming Brooklyn streets into stages where tradition is carried on from distant homelands. However, other factors would cause many of these close-knit neighborhoods to struggle financially, including gentrification.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to that game Bocce, they had a league like in Iowa that parents used to play. And then like we would go to the park and have to like, holy shit, like it's cool though.
Yeah.
It's cool like a game like that is actually still around and was able to have a league. So yeah. You know.
Ooh, now what is Bocce?
So, I don't know, Bocce. Look it up. No, I can't explain it, but it's
layer, but
it's kind of like horseshoes, but it's like with balls, basically. Images.
just I just want to think.
Yeah, no, like basically, like yeah. So like it's whoever basically gets, like if you explain it, I would say it's whoever gets closest to the white ball.
Okay.
Like, and then you get like I think it's based on points and shit. So it's dope though. Like, it's like one of the.
Why does it have to be a white ball?
Yeah, but yo, this froze.
Oh.
Whoa, come on! This is 1080. This is a 1080p card. Hold on.
Do you think?
All right, what the fuck? Oh no, it's back. It's back. All right, I don't know what's happening. This wire is not very good.
It's the wire.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, I can say why does it have to be white? Already black. Oh Jesus! I'm getting. I'm getting.
No,
Here's
it's
the
a
thing
cool
about-
sport though.
Yeah, here's the thing about Worcester. It's the same thing in Worcester, like in Brooklyn, like when in Main South. You know, Greeks, Colombians, Vietnamese, Ghanaians. You know, they all interact with each other and they all have their own culture. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah.
All right. And now we're gonna get to our favorite people, the hipsters.
Guys, gentrification.
Yeah,
Well, established immigrant communities maintain their cultural traditions, a different demographic, quietly reshaping Brooklyn's future, beginning in the 1980s and accelerating throughout the 1980s.
Well,
1960
Yeah.
to the 80s.
Educating middle-class professionals who were priced out of Manhattan became drawn to Brooklyn's true art streets and historic architecture.
Yeah.
The so-called romantic urbanists were looking for organic connection to history and hints of rural life, settling in Brooklyn neighborhoods, which they gave rustic names, living uneasily among the less privileged neighbors. Yeah. Some writers and artists had already settled in Brooklyn by the time professionals started arriving in neighborhoods like Park Slope, Cobble Hill, and Carroll Gardens. By the 1970s, Brooklyn was undergoing a brownstone review, which involved newcomers renovating brownstones in various neighborhoods, tearing down the aluminum awnings, ripping up the linoleum floors, and in some cases, completely transforming entire properties.
Yeah. Those are the brownstones.
Yeah.
They're beautiful, though. No, they're beautiful, but I'm saying they were good before. But what happened was when the new people came, they tore down, like you saw, they tore floors, they took a little, they redid it, and then of course the rent went up.
Yeah.
That was the beginning when the rent started to go up over there.
Yeah.
So that was like
They have character though, like that'd be like if they try to get rid of the 3-deckers in Massachusetts too. You're destroying like the character of the neighborhood.
Yeah, and these are part of the plan, so they're gonna discard.
No, you cannot destroy that.
Yeah, that's been around for I think over 100 years.
Oh yeah. In 1982, middle-class couples with modest finances had moved into areas where they lived alongside Irish immigrants, Italian immigrants, and Puerto Ricans who played a key role in giving Brooklyn its working-class identity.
Yeah.
As realtor Austin K. Haldenstein told the New York Times, his new wave of brownstone occupants included young professionals who either brand together in groups and split up a house, or couples who live in 1 or 2 floors and rent the rest of the space out. Since prices are high, few single families can afford to buy a brownstone just for themselves.
Yeah.
This hadn't always been the case, though. As rents increased in these previously affordable areas, tension increased between the families who were now being priced out and the white-collar workers moving in. Many of these same tensions remain in Brooklyn to this day.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, so with all these, like, hipsters, who probably seem to be, hip with, like, underprivileged communities, people who are lesser than them, when they probably see, like, people who are, like, working class as monkeys.
Yeah.
So I really don't trust. I don't trust them. Like you see the guy. Like I told you about the guy with the mullet, the mustache, the skinny figure, the tattoos. Yeah, yeah. It looks like Ron Jeremy. He was actually a rapist, but oh my god. They're like super PC. All their talking points are nothing you would hear like HR talking about. You know, they claim to be no feminists, but their presence alone is kind of fucking over the true identity of Brooklyn. Yeah. I'm glad we don't really have that in Worcester. Thank God.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, but I remember hearing about it when this was happening, and it's like, wow, Brooklyn is changing. And I didn't know if it was for the best, or for a moment I thought it was for the best. But then I realized, no, that because they're not caring about the people that live, the original people that were living there are the homeless population, they didn't care about them. And then the drug issue, they pretty much, like, they didn't want to deal with it, especially in that neighborhood. What they did was they pushed it in a different neighborhood.
Yeah.
And let them do same thing. I guess Worcester's doing the same thing. They keep, even though Main South is diversified, it has different people there, but that's where the homeless people, that's where they are right there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
All right, how the 1987 seeds of change in Brooklyn. Despite the challenges, these planted seeds that would eventually transform Brooklyn into one of America's most desirable places to live. The borough's rich cultural diversity, festivals and traditions brought communities together and became a prime example in a way of the promise of America. The brownstone movement, meanwhile, proved that Brooklyn's historical architecture could attract newcomers who were seeking alternatives to Manhattan's high cost and towering apartments.
Yeah.
Neighborhoods such as Brooklyn Heights, Coney Hill, and Park Slope slowly transformed as young professionals and families looked to Brooklyn as a more affordable, low-key alternative to living in Manhattan.
Yeah.
The process would accelerate in the 1990s when changes in policing helped bring crime rates down.
Yeah.
But the foundations were laid in the 1980s by others who were curious or eager enough for change to settle in the borough. The 1980s also witnessed Brooklyn's emergence as a cultural force. The decade saw the rise of hip-hop, Brooklyn artists contributing significantly to the genre's development and popularity. The decade was an energetic, challenging, intense, and sometimes utterly strange one for Brooklyn, but in the end, ultimately helped pave the way for what the borough is today, for better or for worse.
Yeah, I like that article. I like that summary. I like that summary because I would have been the first critic about the summary, but I like it. Since I was there, I can relate to it. Yeah, so it's not just he's just writing an article. It's he did his homework. He did his homework, and that's great. And that's a good summary. Brooklyn, yeah. And now I haven't been there, like I said, for a while. I want to visit. I just want to see what's going on. I definitely want to go to my old neighborhood because I want to see all this improvement that, with the brownstones in certain neighborhoods. But I didn't see no East New York. Nah, you saw that? If I take it to my neighborhood, he's going to, you to your God. What the? My neighborhood hasn't changed. My neighborhood is still a ghetto.
Yeah, probably.
If I take it there, you go.
Yeah, nah.
It's ghetto. It's ghetto.
Yeah,
what?
I mean, good.
Wait till we gotta do that. We gotta do it at the pit stop.
Yeah.
And then after that,
yeah. Yeah, we get the fuck out of here.
you haven't eaten because we don't want to be jumped. Yeah. Like somebody in the neighborhood.
Yeah, fuck that.
Because the thing about those people is that they'll know right away that you're not from the neighborhood.
Yeah.
They'll know that he and me too.
Yeah.
And now we're good. We're just passing through. You're not gonna stay here too long.
Yeah. Will they recognize you? Do you still have friends who with her?
No, because it's been a long time. I lost touch with them. So they've, moved on. I know one friend, but she don't live in my neighborhood. She lives in, I think, Hoyt Street in Brooklyn. Yeah, she lives in that section. It's more, I lived in the East New York, of course, because it was in the East Side, and then she lives in the West Side of Brooklyn. So, but she's a friend of the family.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm still sorry, I knocked down big like it. You go. Right. Yeah, we still have the only real friends from the neighborhood we have contact with is James and Adam, and everyone else kind of we either know them or they know us. It's kind of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, tell us about what you told us about our woman in Brooklyn in the 80s yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, we were having a conversation. about. Actually, it was yesterday, but also the day before, I think, because we went to the Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, we
Yeah, we were talking there. No, the conversation started. Basically, we're talking. What were we talking about to make it go there? Because one conversation led to another.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I think I started talking about the women in the '80s versus versus now, and what I miss about the '80s is that there's always been decent women, young ladies, but back in the day, we knew the hoes,
Skanks.
yes, the different terms. We knew who they were. And of course, a few men mess with them. Of course, there's always a man or a group of men that will mess with them because they know that's all they want. But the ones that didn't like them, it were the females. The other ones that did, they were not whole. They were decent. They had self-respect for themselves. And they lived in the neighborhood, and we all got together. I remember that everybody would know each other from a neighborhood. And then what happened is the word get around that there was I hate to say, but that this girl was sleeping around, and that she the neighborhood hope or neighborhood whore, And I like the fact that back then the women that they didn't like that, they would get together and confront her. They would confront her. They first would give her a warning that she needs to, stay away from their man, their boyfriend, and that they wanted her not to be hanging around certain areas. So they would give her a warning. But then usually what happened is those girls kept doing the same thing. Yeah, So the girl, those type of female would just say, all right, she's not listening. So they would gather together and go after her. They would go after her. And there was always one, I'm not saying a leader, but there was always one that said, I'll beat her. I'll fight her. I'll make an example of her. And the other one would say, bet, let's go. Right. And they support her. And, I used to see a lot of fights where the girl would I got to tell you, the girl would tie their hair in the ponytail, put Vaseline in their face, take their earrings off, and they go, I'm gonna fuck up this bitch. I'm gonna make an example of her. And they did, and they made an example of her, and that would scare most of the girls away. What I miss about the '80s is that women, and I was telling this to Alex, and Conan. I was telling them that I love the fact that women back then would shame other women, brutally check, because that's not our job to do. I mean, we could do it. Men could shame a woman, and which is on certain occasions we could do that. We can shame a woman, but I like the fact that women would do it.
Yeah.
I love the fact that the women that I'm talking about, they were not hoes. They had self-respect. They loved each other. They supported the neighborhood. Right. And when there was a woman that didn't have self-respect or whatever, she was just a hoe. She liked sex, whatever. They, first they would talk to her, give her a warning, and if she didn't listen, then the beatdown came. The beatdown, it's not that they were violent, and I didn't promote violence, but the beatdown worked.
Yeah.
What happened was those women were putting shame on the other. And I love that because God knows how many women got saved. That eventually maybe they had second thought and they say, I should change my behavior. I shouldn't live this way, So I don't know. But I know that in that neighborhood, if you had a group of women and they saw a hoe in the neighborhood, they would confront them. And now what's happening is that in 2026, women do whatever. Like I don't
Or about go get your money, queen, and shit like that. Yeah, and it's
they
but they do it from a money standpoint. They don't really give a fuck about her having that many bodies or that. Yeah, it's where the shame. I like
also the shame. The women are already the hoes are already advertising themselves.
Yeah.
So I feel like decent women don't feel the need to go make an.
No, thank you. No, to this day, I'm noticing now that there are still decent women.
Yeah.
And they're not promoting their body.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I see a few videos that are talking smack about these women.
Yeah.
And those are the women I'm talking about. Those are the women that we had in our neighborhood back in the 80s.
Right.
And they said, we're not tolerating this. But back then the women just, they fought. They won you first, and if you didn't listen, they got together and said, yo, we going after her. Yeah, we're gonna make an example of her. See, we need more women like that. To put these other women to shame. They're going to be put to shame. Because they think that they rule the world. They think.
Yeah.
But they don't. Because
It's not the real world.
yeah, because they don't talk for other women.
Yeah.
They don't.
They don't even. They think they do. They don't. They don't even.
Yeah.
And they don't even talk to real men because those guys are all like either cuffed out or.
Oh yeah, they don't help neither. Oh yeah, they don't not help.
So
How about this girl? She's a juggler. She claims to hate men and love women, but I have never seen her hanging out with another woman. She's always going to concerts with groups of men. She's, yeah, man. It's like,
Interesting.
yeah, interesting. It's like usually listen, the girls who hate men, they're always fucking hanging out with men.
Yeah.
And the guys who hate women, they all have female friends, and they think that they're trying to friendship their way into sleeping with her.
Yeah.
See, men, do you guys feel like men shame each other for that type of shit?
I think men. Yeah. So I think men now. We're just in a tough predicament, man, because you just fucking kill. Like, dude, the mental health shit's real, but I don't feel a lot of people have that honest conversation because it's you gotta be man and you have to do this still and it's the stigma and then but dude, who goes to war, who builds shit, you know what I mean? It's like no one else, it's us. So it's just I don't know, man, like dude, we're just fucked because we're just all screwed.
Well, what's exaggerating it? It's the, I'm not blaming the internet like that, but I think the internet, what it did was expose the human condition that we are.
Yeah. That you see a guy with a Lamborghini, like you're not doing shit. You know what I mean? You have a fucking, no one's happy with what they have.
They're not content.
They're not content.
No, they're not content.
It's not even about being content. It's about loving what you have.
Yeah.
Like, dude, if I'm annoying, like, dude, I'm gonna be blunt as fucking honest. Like, dude, as long as I got my fucking family or I have my, you know what I mean? I don't have a girlfriend.
My family is healthy, and they're good. I'm good. I'm good. That's what you should be
paid.
There's a
fine. We're good.
But that,
the stigmatization of just being like, oh, this guy has this. It's like, and the thing is, like, dude, let's be real. Like, this money's not the root. Money helps, but I'll be real with inflation, dude. This shit ain't. It ain't real money, dude.
Yeah, it ain't.
No, like, really, if you were making the type of money that people are making now, but with all the fucking inflation we have, like, dude, like, you're not truly making 100 million.
Yeah.
You're really not.
Yeah.
Like, and especially with taxes and everything, dude. Like,
well, that's the government. They just take your money.
No, but that's the problem, you know.
They got taxes. You have inflation.
See about this, like I said. So when you were making if you were making like 100 million, like Magic was back in the 90s, that's really 100 million. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
Now people are billionaires, but like they're not really billionaires because they really
the way you go, like, what's his name? Elon. Yeah, is he worth?
Like almost like a. I don't know. I think though he's gonna be a trillionaire, bro.
Oh yeah, I know. I heard that conversation. What is?
I think
he might.
I think that's
another conversation we can have. Like next golden age of correction.
800 they'll be fall. He's almost $1 trillion.
Yeah, but the thing is, guys, I'm not trying to stick up for this fucking guy. I know, but it's all, dude. It's not like it's not all liquid. It's everything added up.
Yeah,
this motherfucker probably doesn't even have fucking 160,000 in his fucking bank account.
Yeah, I mean,
we just have to figure out ways of being able to not get their shit, but be able to, you know what I mean? Because he pretty well fucking taxes. He just learned a better system, dude.
Yeah, like I said, we need a better system. Yeah.
250 years is a lot of places crumble. We're gonna crumble next like 3 years. By 2030, we're just gonna be in a whole new system. I'm calling it right now. I don't want to say like it's either going to be like a fucking oligarchy or fucking something, but like I think we're fucked, and where we're at, we're moving to something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep. You know, like leading into this. You know what I mean?
And golden age of corruption, man. Holy shit.
You know.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. We got 5 minutes. Anything else you guys want to add?
I have that you want to add. Yeah.
Well, I want to add. we're gonna be talking about what we're gonna be talking about the voting rights stuff right now.
Voting rights stuff and the ugly history of the anti-civil rights movement. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, what you say? Supreme Court hollows out a landmark law that had protected
minorities
voting
rights for 6 decades.
Yeah, we're going backwards.
Well, they wrote Democrat the minority, so I don't care.
Nah, but the thing, the win is fucked. This two-party system, dude. If Massey runs a libertarian, guys, we're just gonna throw this out there. Fucking vote Massey, man. Yeah, vote Massey. Vote for people that don't do APAC. Fuck APAC. That's a two-side thing.
If they take money from APAC, don't fucking vote for them.
Yeah, they accept. Yeah, they accept. Or take. Yeah, you say take. Yeah, accept.
Yeah,
they do that. Yeah.
If they could do it for a goddamn primary when it's actually two Republicans that should respect each other's wishes.
Yeah,
and actually just be like fucking civil men about their thing, and they pay $32 million fucking dollars to have this motherfucker out.
Yeah,
and they did it. And they did it. We're fucked, guys. Like I just said, we're getting to all our yeah. We've been that for a while, but like we're just doing it now. But it's just right. Let's say at it. They're just right in front of our face about it now. It's just
also you're right, and they're also accelerating it. It's
accelerating it. I genuinely want to throw this out there. I think Trump's using this war so he could stay in office for a third time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I genuinely think he's doing that. I think he's going to prolong the war with Iran to get us to make it where with 2028, I know it's a couple of years or after, I think it's going to be a fucking, I don't want to say a blue sweep, but a lot of motherfuckers going to vote blue this upcoming. Yeah, these guys should be not spiteful, but fuck, dude.
Yeah, Trump power.
But it's not gonna fucking work either.
Yeah, really, right? It's not gonna work.
We always do this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you gotta vote blue, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. It's like, no, vote for who does good for you and your constituents.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I don't give a fuck about Republican or Democrat anymore. It's just like we gotta reach that level, but we're gonna lead back into that. So,
all right, we're gonna take a break, guys. When we come back, we'll be talking about the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're back. We're not experts on politics, guys, but we do know right versus wrong. And this is an article by the Associated Press, so it's like the best news to get it from. It's by Gary Fields and Kim Chandler. Supreme Court hollows out a landmark law that had protected minority voting rights for 6 decades. President Lyndon B. Johnson knew the legislation he was about to sign was a momentous one that took courage for certain members of Congress to pass, since the vote could cost them their seats. To honor that, he took the unusual step of leaving the Oval Office and going to Capitol Hill for the signing ceremony. It was August 6, 1965, 5 months after the Bloody Sunday attack on the civil rights marchers in Selma, Alabama, gave momentum to the bill that became known as the Voting Rights Act. In the 6 decades since, it became one of the most consequential laws in the nation's history, preventing discrimination against minorities at the ballot box and helping to elect thousands of Black and Hispanic representatives at all levels of government. On Wednesday, the U.S. Supreme Court knocked down a major pillar of the law that had protected against racial discrimination in voting and representation. In what is a decision that came more than a decade after that court undermined another key tenet of the law and led to restrictive voting laws in a number of states. Voting and civil rights advocates were fearful of what lies ahead for minority communities.
Mm-hmm.
It means that you have entire communities that can go without having representation, said Cliff Albright, a co-founder of the group for Black Folks Matter.
Mm-hmm.
It is literally throwing us back to the Jim Crow era unapologetically, and that's not exaggeration. Listen, a lot of people don't realize what Jim Crow was. It wasn't just like Black people can't go here. Like Black people were taken with the right to vote. They were literally had like militias at like voting polls, and they would like point the guns at Black people if they ever tried to step to the voting polls. It was bad.
Yeah, it was bad. I read some of the stories in history of what happened. There was one, I don't remember his name, but it was a 14-year-old kid, I think, that got killed in Alabama. I'm not sure.
And until
Mississippi,
yeah.
I was When I heard that story, that was brutal. I said, "Wow."
Yeah, and then the woman on her deathbed said it never happened.
Yeah, it's
She also like wrote an autobiography trying to make the situation about herself.
Yeah.
Everyone just snorted bullshit. And
yeah.
and listen, back then, like, dude, if the judge had prosecuted, like, sent the guys who killed him into jail to prison, he would have been killed inside the courtroom by, like, the townsfolk because his ego was bruised.
Yeah. I did something back in college. I looked up, like, the FBI was going to do something about it.
Yeah.
Then J. Edgar Hoover said no.
Yeah.
The J. Edgar Hoover was a fucking in-closeted gay man, so, like, he had fucking dirt on everybody, dude. Yeah, that's why I like.
Yeah, I know. He covered his tracks. That's why nobody.
It's just after that, I was just like, yeah, fuck the FBI, dude.
Yeah, Kareem Creighton, vice president of the Brennan Center for Justice Washington's office, said the court steady work to erode the Voting Rights Act, culminating in Wednesday's decision amounting to burying it without the funeral, hollowing out America's greatest legislative landmark. The Supreme Court's ruling came in a congressional redistricting case out of Louisiana after the state created a district that gave the state its second black representative to Congress. Second. A third of Louisiana is black.
Oh, yeah.
1/3.
Yeah.
Yep.
It found that the map to be an unconstitutional gerrymander because it took race into account to draw the lines. In an opinion written by Justice Samuel Alito, court's conservative majority said the provision of the Voting Rights Act in question, called Section 2, was designed to protect voters from intentional discrimination. Justice Elena Kagan, in her dissent, said to the bar, to show intentional discrimination as an almost insurmountable barrier for challenges to any voting rights issues to prove discrimination. Voting rights experts says the ruling leaves the Voting Rights Act only a shell of what it had been, and will provide an open door for political mapmakers at every level, from local school districts to state legislatures to Congress to undermine minority representation. We're witnessing the evisceration of America's greatest legislative landmark at the hands of a far-right Supreme Court, Democrat U.S. Representative Richie Torres of New York said. Oh, my God. Listen, I don't think it's going to be like one of those things where, we're going to see like the rise of the Ku Klux Klan again.
No. I don't think it's going to get this deep. But like I said before we went on break, like it's just becoming a fucking oligarchy.
Yeah, no,
It's just becoming the boys are back in town. They're just trying to get all their people in, and I hate saying this, but it's just going to lead to more cup motherfucking politicians that take money from APAC and they just fucking stay there, and we could vote them out, but they're not going to do shit because they're just going to put their next fucking person in.
Yeah, the next
but they got fucking Tulsi, they got fucking Rubio, they got all these fucking people, dude.
Mm-hmm. And everyone's cooking out, Donald Trump is getting blackballed. Yeah, that's like, and if they're not getting blackballed, they're always getting shamed by Donald Trump.
It's like, dude.
Oh, I don't see Trump's approval rating. So not.
Yeah, I would see that with his approval
rating. Yeah. Because he's not doing a good job at all. Well, approximately 48% of Americans strongly disapprove of Trump's job performance. Current net approval rating is negative 19.1.
That's crazy, Nate.
Yo!
Damn. What? Trump, a current net approval rating is negative 19.1, which is the lowest, which is lower than both Joe Biden.
38% of Americans currently disapprove of his job performance.
And it is all rating during his first term.
Damn.
Let's see. Hold on. States where Donald Trump's approval rating has crashed the most. We'll see this. Freaking load. All right. Let's see. Okay, Vermont. It's like the real bad.
The liberal arts are gonna be fucking.
Yeah, they're heroes. I know. Yeah, they're gonna change.
Yeah, I know. It's mostly conservative say so. Why is West Virginia like them so much?
You know why? I know. Yeah, I know why. I think we know this.
Yeah.
I was like kind of in the middle. It's not bad.
Yeah. Missouri's kind of in the middle. Iowa's right here.
Oh, I know, but they're at negative
39.
Yeah, so they're just like, hey, negative 9 where? Iowa.
Wow.
And that's a big state for the Congress.
Wyoming likes them the looks like Wyoming likes them the most. It's like 22.
Yeah.
It's just West Virginia. West Virginia 17.
Yeah.
Not one.
So Wyoming and West Virginia. Where's North Dakota?
North Dakota's right here.
Florida
is 18.
What about Florida?
Florida is negative 12.
Wow. He made it.
Oh yeah.
He needs that. Stay in Florida.
Once you got Florida, you're
That technically he shouldn't even he's not gonna be technically he shouldn't even be able to fucking run. But I think this is just the beginning of them reshelving all the shit that we ever fucking really actually did.
Yeah.
And I do think this goes and they're going to actually look into getting, like I said, the only way that Trump could get a third term is being in a time of war. So I think this war gets drawn out until then, and he has to remain president.
No, I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that either, but this is, if they're doing this now, we can fucking just try to suppress the fucking.
What about the amendment?
That's what they're going to do. The Supreme Court will fucking amend that and take that shit away. Because if they're trying to take away the most pivotal fucking part about the Voting Rights Act, they're gonna fucking do that.
No, I feel you, but no, that's I don't know. I don't think the it's in the Constitution, so it's
no.
You have to give Congress approval.
Yeah.
You get 2/3.
Yeah.
I don't see 2/3.
Yeah.
They're gonna vote on.
Oh no, they should.
on switching.
No,
Yeah,
I don't think it will be.
Yeah, see, it's gonna be in the Constitution, so I don't care what anybody says.
Constitution's like sacred sand, so I don't think you're gonna have that.
But I'll be real, for us to only have 27 amendments is fucking crazy.
Or you want more?
I want amendments. I'll be real.
Okay.
No, every time there needs to be a problem, and that's gonna be solved. That can be solved over bullshit or like too much money or whatever.
Yeah.
We should just keep adding amendments that you can't do this, you can't do shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
There's got to be something about gerrymandering. There's got to be something about fucking lobbying, filibustering, and all that shit. There's got to be things that just fucking gotta override, man. They do.
You know who eroded kind of like eroded like corporations back in the day? Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Teddy. Yeah, he was a wild one.
Yeah.
He was a badass. He was
a badass wild one president. He
was crazy. He also got like shot. And you didn't even see mad at the guy who shot him. He's like, "Why'd you shoot me?" He wouldn't answer. It was like, "Okay, whatever. Just send him to the cops."
Yeah.
And the bullet was stopped by like his glasses case.
Yeah.
And he was still injured, but he coughed and no blood came out. That means his lungs were still intact. So he like gave his speech. He was like, "All right, everyone, I've been shot, so I'm just gonna make it short and sweet."
Yeah.
And
oh my god, that's it. That's great, man. Oh, this again to a crazy point there.
Crazy point, yeah. All right, back to the article. Maria Teresa Kumar, president of the Voto Latino, said that the decision will allow more aggressive cracking and packing of populations to dilute their votes, not just in congressional districts, but also in state legislators, county commissions, school boards, and city councils. On Thursday, several civil rights groups held a joint news conference to condemn the Supreme Court ruling and pledge to fight its impasse. Mark Murillo, National Urban League president and CEO, cautioned against framing the current movement as mere battle for political control between Democrats and Republicans. This decision is a continuation of a frontal assault to the gains of the civil rights movement that began in 1954 with the Brown versus Board of Education decision, he said. Listen, if you still think it's Democrats versus Republicans, you're fucking brainwashed.
Are you saying sorely mistaken?
Sorely mistaken.
Yeah.
Because, yes, they're bad for different reasons. Democrats are useless. Republicans are fascists. But who do they accept money from? Israel.
Yeah.
Who do they get the money from? All these lobbying organizations. They're just as racist as the next guy. They just express it differently.
Yeah, different.
Yeah, and oh my god,
I'll see grown up. I'm gonna just be blunt as fuck. If I'm them, I'm gonna homeschool my kids. I'm not sending any of these motherfucking kids to any of these shit ass fucking public education schools. And I'm gonna homeschool my kids. If I'm any of these guys, I'm homeschooling my kids. I'm sorry, you have to. Well, you're not the audio one. There's a lot of parents now doing the annual.
Homeschooling is like what they did for like many years.
Yep, no. And the sad thing is, all these motherfuckers that do all this fucking shit never send their fucking kids to public school. They always send their kids to fucking private school, so they could fuck off. So
I mean, in public school, we we were like brainwashed by like a lot of shit. Just like
in brainwash, you're just taught to be you're just taught to be a consumer, and you're taught to be a fucking worker. No, that's how it's it. It's law and ever was. So,
like you want to go to the laboratory, no, you're not allowed to do that.
If you have to raise your hand and they'll take a piss, come on, man.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you just want me to piss my fucking pants right here, miss? Yeah. The hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, I had teachers that just said, "Listen, you can go."
BOBs workers, they fall into
sign out.
So,
but like when I graduated high school, I had a 7th grade reading level.
Oh,
so the only thing
you were still legally retarding on it.
So I was like 21. The only thing I could like read all the way through was comics.
Oh shit!
Yeah. And that was when I was in college.
Damn.
So like, listen, you know what? Some of these Southerners, they homeschool their kids. And I understand because education down south is terrible. Yeah. You know what they were teaching kids in public school in the South until like the 60s? Black people were 3/5 of people.
Yeah.
That's what they were teaching. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Sorry.
No, you went to right here. But what does it go back to? Who owned McGraw Hill?
Israel. Israel.
He was a Mossad agent. So like it just all comes back to that, dude. Everything comes back to that fucking place.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
All right, well, VI was the key tool to fight dilution of voting strength. Voting rights experts said there was no doubting the law's impact over the decades. Shelin Eiffel, a law professor at Iowa University and former president of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, said there were about 1,500 black elected officials throughout the country in 1970. Today, that stands at more than 10,000. And it isn't because of the goodness of people's hearts, she said. She said that success was a direct result of black communities, civil rights activists, and the lawyers having the tools through the Voting Rights Act to file challenges to efforts to diminish the voting strength for blacks and Hispanic voters. Most of the Section 2 cases have been over representation in local governments. It's not just the numbers. A loss of representation, especially in state legislatures and Congress, will translate into minority communities losing a voice on issues that matter to them, such as healthcare, education, and needed public works upgrades, said Sophie Wynn-Lakin, Deputy Director of the American Civil Liberties Union's Voting Rights Project. States can now point to partisan objectives to justify maps that strip voters of color of representation, and federal courts will have little basis to interfering, she said. All right, listen, as minorities, do you guys feel more comfortable having like a Puerto Rican or a Polish, guy representing you?
I don't really give a fuck. I'm a policy guy. I'm not like, dude, like, we have to get over this. Like, this is your, I kind of like, I don't want to say disagree, but like, dude, like, I vote by policies. Who's going to be the best fucking constituent? I don't really give a, like me personally. And I hate saying it, but like, dude, I just like the best candidate. I'm just the best candidate guy. I understand why representation matters, but like, dude, like if I'm in fucking Iowa, or if I'm in fucking Hampshire, like, dude, I'm in the 90% white state. I'm not thinking about representation. I just want the best policies. You know what I mean? But if I'm in Worcester, if I'm here, Jose Rivera, he's in. God bless you. Shout out Jose. You're doing a great fucking job, man. But you need that. You need people who, yes, they like representation, but they're out to represent everybody because they're about all the constituents in the place. That's the thing with politics, man. They want to it's a divide and conquer tactic. Yeah, they want to divide and conquer, but like, dude, like something like just taking care of your constituents should be a fucking issue.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be about like, oh, like when they said Obama came in, we just should have taken care of black people. Like, no, it's fucking stupid. Yeah,
I saw.
People, why do you? That was the conversation. That was the conversation. The conversation was you should only let fucking. No, I mean, they should, but they already. But what did he do? He bombed fucking all these places.
All these foreign countries.
Yeah, he bombed all those places that don't have a watch out bank. He fucking took out Gaddafi. He took out fucking all these things. He's in Benghazi. He did a lot of crazy shit. Legalized gay marriage so it could fucking push all this fucking shit down the window. You know what I mean? So, what did he do? Nothing. Like, I don't want to say nothing. Like, I think he's one of the most fucking articulate motherfuckers I've ever seen. Yeah, goddamn. Like, I genuinely love Obama in the sense of he's a fucking man. I'm sorry. Has no backbone as a fucking politician. He's a bitch. But as a man, I still respect him.
Yeah. I feel against him, even though I didn't agree with his policies. But
that's what we're saying. When it comes down to it, it's a policy thing. You know, a lot of people voted for Trump this term because of policies. I think.
Yeah.
There's a lot of racist motherfuckers that we wrong that voted for him. No, we're not talking about them. We're not talking about the people that voted for him each fucking time because like fuck Hillary or fuck Obama. You know, we're not talking about those guys, but we're talking about politics. But there's people that voted for him all 3 times because of his policies. The first 2 times, he was fine. I'm sorry. He wasn't such a cuck to Israel then. And then he's just a dumb fucking president and got into the fucking war with Iran. So that's all Netanyahu wanted. Motherfucker wanted this shit for so how long, you know?
Yeah, even Israel hates Netanyahu.
Yeah. But just to add real quick, because I was going to say, I'm Puerto Rican, and I guess I would vote for somebody that's Puerto Rican to represent my community for the most part. But I also like you, Alex, I vote on policy.
Yeah.
So I really don't care if you're Puerto Rican, Colombian, white, black. If you can come out with a decent policy that I can relate to, I'm gonna. Well, hopefully,
you're gonna make my life better.
Yeah, well, and only my life, but it can only be selfish. But consider my neighborhood, my city. What policy that guy is going to do or her to represent us? And again, he could be Puerto Rican, but it doesn't matter. He could be a white guy.
That's why I tell people. Yeah,
so it doesn't matter.
Just focus on your local and state.
Yeah, so focus on your local and state. Don't worry about the federal. I'm fucking about the federal.
Fuck says, yeah. No, fuck the federal because they should just be there to help us fund it. Like, dude, look at Texas.
Yeah.
They do. Like, look what they did to North Carolina after that fucking hurricane.
Yeah.
There's still fucking places that are still fucked up because you are not a fucking helpful government.
Yeah.
But then you have states like that's why I'll be blunt as fuck. That's why Texas, to me, is one of the best states in the country because they are self-sufficient.
Yeah, they are. They're massive. Yeah,
I don't, Florida deals with a lot of shit too, but they're very self-sufficient as well. I think a lot of spots need to just be like we talk about states' rights all the time, but like, dude, like you have to be a self-sufficient state. I'm sorry, if you're a state that relax, I'll believe that. There's a state that rely, or like in Mississippi, dude, they're federal aid rely on a lot of federal aid, and they've gotten a lot better with education. Actually, they went from like the bottom fucking 10 to like a top 10, top 15. Oh, good, they fucking killed it. You know what I mean? Because they actually implemented sleep. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. You have to have these conversations, and I genuinely think that each state should be different, and it has to be because where we're heading. I want to be in a state that is self-sufficient. Yeah, because I don't know, man. Definitely not trying to be in a little state when all this shit pops off. So
yeah,
that's true. I know when rent's fucking $3,000 and you live in a fucking 500 square foot fucking place. Yeah, fuck that.
Oh no, it's getting worse. It's getting terrible. The apartments are getting smaller. Yeah, rent is getting high. Like New York is worse.
Oh, it's terrible.
I seen the apartments over there. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
They're the size of the closet.
They're smaller than this room.
You ain't had to ask like.
How much do they charge if this was an apartment?
This 500 easily. 25 to fucking $3,000.
25, yeah.
25, 26.
So we're trying to say 25.
Depends where you're at.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's just shrinking.
Yeah.
The space is shrinking. You know what? As a matter of fact, you know what it reminded me of? I saw one apartment that, somebody was showing this other guy, and I'm looking at it. Because you gotta be closed in before you open this door.
Yeah.
That's how. Now, you know what it reminded me that moment when I was looking at it? I said, it looks like a prison cell.
Yeah.
No lie. Look at it.
Cases are becoming.
It reminded me of a prison cell. That's where the apartments are gonna end up being.
Yeah.
And that's fucked up because I'm like, so you're telling me that I live outside, but I'm gonna get an apartment the size of a prison cell.
Yeah.
Yo, they do that shit on purpose, bro.
Yeah.
They doing that shit. They basically closing you in.
Right.
He will own nothing and be happy.
Yeah.
They're getting, like I'm saying, they got so crazy.
They said it. They fucking said it. They mean it. They doing their own thing now. So, and we just, I don't know what to say, but again, and that was New York.
Yeah.
And over here too, it's getting like that too. You're saying that not like New York City, but I can see the influence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, good luck, people. I hope Eric can figure that out.
Yeah, man.
All right, back to the article. A steady erosion by the court, the future in doubt.
Yeah.
The landmark law signed by Johnson 61 years ago had been amended over the years, but the biggest change was in 2013 when the Supreme Court released its ruling in Shelby County versus Holder. That decision essentially ended a provision of the Voting Rights Act mandating the way states and local jurisdictions where included on a list of those needing to get advance approval or pre-clearance from the U.S. Justice Department for voting-related changes. That decision paved the way for mostly Republican states to pass away from restrictive election legislation, especially after President Donald Trump, a Republican, falsely claimed widespread fraud costing re-election in 2020 against Democrat Joe Biden. In a surprise ruling in 2023, the Supreme Court upheld Section 2 in a redistricting case out of Alabama, a ruling that it essentially released on Wednesday. The question now is what comes next for minority representatives and the communities they represent.
Dude, all right, I'll throw this out there. You think if Trump won in 2020 and he was just out now, do you think we would be in a better spot?
Honestly, that's a good question.
Because, dude, I think he fucked up with COVID. Don't get me wrong, but I think the problem is with a lot of shit. To make fucking butter, man. So, they should have been done within a fucking 6 month to a year fucking period, but they just wanted to make billions of fucking dollars.
You mean the pharmaceuticals?
Yeah, that's all they for.
They prolonged
They did a lot right, because dude, once I knew it was a fucking airborne illness, and Miguel, I mean, places are still making you fucking clean with the sanitizer.
Yeah.
And it's surface still. Like, motherfucker, it's airborne. Why are we doing all this fucking extra bullshit? It's an airborne fucking disease. Just put on a fucking mask or you take care of your fucking self. Yeah. Sorry, dude. That was such bullshit.
Yeah.
Dude, what's your take on that shit? That's one of the biggest fucking crops of bullshit you've seen in your fucking life, right? In the sense of like how they prolonged everything and they do it in 20?
Yeah.
Dude.
They walked away like he also the pharmaceutical needed to it was like a cash cow. They needed to make that money, that profit. So
and what like we waited to look into it like a year later, like in 2021. Shanghai had less than fucking. Dude, they didn't even have any fucking deaths.
Yeah, I remember.
Like, how are the most populated places
in the world like China,
India,
China?
They were India too. They had but you know what they had? The shit that was getting banned here.
Ivermectin, hydrochloroquine.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah.
And it could, if so, in India, that shit's available over the counter. I met her during
probably over the fucking counter in Mexico too.
Yeah, so over the counter, and like it's banned over here, and anything that's actually deaths that they could have prevented, right? Had they just let that, if the FDA had just approved that.
I'll be real, like, dude, I don't feel the same though. I'll be real. Dude, the way I am, because I had asthma as a kid. Sometimes, dude, I can't fucking breathe correctly. I get fucking way more fatigued. Like, dude, I'm just being blunt and honest. Like, dude, I don't feel the same as I once did before the fucking vaccine.
Yeah.
Like, you took it? Yeah, I had to because of the cold. I took it because I had my cruise. So I couldn't.
So how many have you had?
I only had two. Only had the two things. That was it.
I got pressure into getting a booster, and I still got COVID like 3 years later.
No, I know that. I've had COVID.
Yeah.
But I never got the shot. Never got the shot.
Yeah.
But I've had COVID.
Yeah.
So,
I'm saying, how do you feel? Cause just in the sense of like fatigue, easier. Like with me, like I feel like I have a lot of shit. I had acid reflux. I have all this shit. I'm just not taking care of it because I'm a fucking man, and I'm just like, get
go to a doctor.
Yeah, but no, that's what I'm saying. So you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I feel like with me, I'm just a lot more fatigued. I feel sometimes my It's my phlegm. It's all that shit. It's my chest.
Yeah.
So like sometimes it's like it's harder for me to breathe sometimes.
That sucks.
No, and I'm just being honest. Like, dude, I'd never had these before underlying,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Before it wasn't as bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Journey probably doesn't fucking help either, but you know what I mean? Where it gets me to a point sometimes when I'm sleeping, like I hear like me fucking, like I put my nose in it. It's not as bad as like, but like now, it sucks, dude.
Yeah.
You could probably like get soothe and get a supplement.
No, I don't. No.
Yeah. What about you? Since you've had the shot, how have you been feeling? The same, normal?
I kind of feel the same, honestly. I remember like the first couple days after I got it, I sort of started feeling like over funny.
Of course.
But my sister, she got it. She couldn't like move for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's serious. Yeah, that's
You can't-
definitive. I felt that my second shot.
You can't move for 2 days.
Yeah.
And also, normally vaccines take like years to develop. So why was this like so rushed? Because they don't want to get they want to get money. You know what I'm saying? They were lying for money the whole time. I didn't learn until like years, like until well into the pandemic ended, like 2022. Okay, well, it didn't officially end, but it was like getting better. But it was the end. But my doctor told me that you have to be in the same room with somebody for 20 minutes just to get COVID.
20 minutes.
So that's how it was spreading because a lot of workers that didn't think they were the spreader. You know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of people thought I was a spreader at work, but I'm like, nah, I'm just fucking. Oh my god, yeah, no. Like, nah.
And this is big. Yeah, it's like it's like the same people who like disapprove cures for sickle cell anemia because they want to get the cure. We have a friend. His wife works in pharmaceuticals. And she said, and they told us something like that. And who gets sickle cell anemia? Black people.
Yeah.
Yes. So like, and man, that's the reason why. The reason why the United States just sucks at handling crises is because they profit.
Yeah, they care about make profit. They don't care about the actual intellectual property of being like helping the American.
Yeah, man, we're a third world country, dude. I'm sorry. Vietnam is less third world than us. You know what I'm saying? Because like at least Vietnam, if you're born in Vietnam, you still at least have enough to like survive.
I think the thing is though, it's just here. I think if you realize that if you go somewhere else. You take a 55,000 salary and you put that shit in like another 100 countries, you're gonna be fucking rich at that other country. I think the American dollar still means a lot to other parts of the world.
Yeah.
But it's just you have to fucking save, dude.
You gotta stay.
Yeah, like dude, if you end up be able to get a visa to another country, and just be able to do like a 6 month to a year, see how you like it.
Yeah,
I think that's the way to go. I'm not trying to say leave the country, but dude, like just test it. Like really, especially
try it out.
Try it out, man.
Yeah. If you go to Vietnam, 6 months.
No,
You like it?
Yeah.
Go about Vietnam.
Yeah. There are a lot of people are going to Vietnam right now.
I know.
A lot of Americans are going to Vietnam right now.
Yeah.
Because either what you could get, dude, you could get 200. You could get like 750 to 1,000 square feet for like fucking 500 a month for rent.
Yeah.
And it would cost fucking 2,500 over here, and it's like, dude, the food is just fucking so cheap too.
When I get enough money, it's like $2 for like a hour lunch.
Yeah.
When I get enough money, I'm gonna like send money over to family over Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but we'll continue
that's another subject. You could.
Vietnam.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta talk about the Ku Klux Klan.
Nice.
No. All right. No, I'm talking about this because this is the type of.
Yeah.
In a surprise ruling in 20. I read that. Louisiana, the decision puts Democratic Representative Clear Fields on the indicted list. The state's top 10 elected leaders, all Republicans, already are planning to postpone the state's May 16th primary so they can redraw the congressional maps. Yeah, they're redrawing the maps. That's the Yeah, this isn't the first time redistricting has complicated Field's political plans. He served for 2 terms in the 1990s before the state redrew his congressional district.
Yep. So it's been done before.
I've been down this road before, 33 years ago, he said. Shamari figures who wanted the seat created in the Alabama after the court's 2023 decision said the decision doesn't make changes to the state's current congressional districts, but it has made proving future racial discrimination and redistricting cases significantly tougher. It will lead to states, primarily in the South, launching immediate efforts to redraw districts in ways that will dilute the impact of black voters and drastically reduce the number of realistic opportunities to elect black members to Congress, he said. Sharila Dowdy, an Alabama resident who was a plaintiff in the lawsuit that resulted in the creation of a new district now represented by Higgins, said she is worried the decision will lead to the rollback of the district created in 2023, which she said gave black voters a greater voice. Putting it in the hands of the states on the soil is dangerous, Dowdy said. There's just been a history of the states not doing the right thing based off the state population. Listen, so I'm gonna explain to you guys something about the South.
Yes.
As long they didn't. So basically, there were cases where being a slave was better than being a free white. You know why? A slave wasn't gonna starve to death.
Yeah.
So, like 74% of the South, throughout the antebellum South, they didn't own slaves. There were 2 polyol slaves, and the best job that you could get in the antebellum South was like an overseer or a slave catcher.
Yeah.
The best job.
Best job.
And, there was even a thing during the Civil War called the 20 Negro Law. I learned about it when I was in the 5th grade. Yeah, I was in a private school in the 5th grade, so that I have, better curriculum than our public school. But, so basically, if you had 20 slaves, you could be exempt from being drafted.
Oh shit.
Yummy.
Oh,
So,
what do you say, right?
so yeah, and the Southerners, the white Southerners, as they were fine with being poor as long as they knew that there was someone lower than them.
Yeah.
And that was the mentality through like Jim Crow, because remember you guys seen on Nuke Mississippi Burning, right?
Yeah. The movie. That's the movie.
Like there's this scene where Gene Hackman's character, he tells a story about his dad killing a mule because a black guy in the neighborhood owned it.
Yeah.
And he said that his dad said, "Son, if you can't be better than an N-word, who can you be better than?" So,
Jesus.
yeah, that's what they think. That's precisely the way they think.
It hits hard.
And like Southerner in the South, if you were gonna go, black people couldn't look white people in the eye. They weren't. They would refuse to call black people by Mr. Mr. Roman, Mr. Galarza. They would call him by a first name, and if the black person demanded it to be called by by Mr., he would have gotten beaten.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like. Yeah, and it's some really nice stuff because, like, for example, there was this case in Alabama with the Scottsboro Boys. You guys ever heard of the Scottsboro Boys? These 9 guys on a train in the 1930s in Alabama, they were black. They were accused of raping 2 white girls, and the 2 white girls even came forward and said that they're white in court.
Yeah.
But the Scottsboro Boys were convicted anyway, because you could not listen. If the judge, here's the thing about in the judge position, if the Ku Klux Klan did not kill the judge for letting those 9 guys go, angry villagers in the court would live.
Right.
Yes,
That's the thing. So,
and like if you did support like black people or had any respect for black people in any way, you had to keep quiet about it. You could not be open about it because like you didn't know who the Ku Klux Klan was. Like say the 3 of us are in a diner, we're talking openly. It's like, well, I don't think black people should be treated this way. I've worked with plenty of black people. And they're the most respectful, hardworking people I've ever met. This guy, a guy sitting right across the street near you, would hear you as you turn around. Is like, what the fuck did you just say? Because like, listen, the guys who experienced a lot of violence during like the civil rights movement when this crap was trying to be prevented were white people who were standing with the black people because they, the racist people saw them as traitors.
Yeah, they did.
And also, the thing, it took those types to actually get this shit going too. You know what I mean? So it took a lot of people dying in the Civil Wars, took a lot of people of fucking actual dignity to fucking get this shit passed. So the fact they're trying to do this is fucking what it's terrible, dude.
Yeah, and when it comes to the Civil War, you know, say your father or your grandfather served in the Civil War, you'd be fucking like furious if you saw black people having like moving up in the war because your granddaddy like died in the war to keep those people in check, and you don't see them as people, you see them as monkeys.
Jesus.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's monkey. Yeah. That is you. That's not the thing. I'm sorry. That's not the thing, man. I know. Listen, listen, it's one thing to not want people in your neighborhood if you think they're going to cause crime. It's another thing to just sort of think they're monkeys. So,
Jesus.
that's Conan. No, that's not cute, man.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah. I don't think. All right. Yeah, I think with this one, because
This one,
yeah,
man, this is way too well.
Jesus.
Sorry, that's
fucking language was.
Some people might take it the wrong way.
Yeah,
but we just talking. Don't take it the wrong way, guys.
Yeah,
we just talking.
We're just talking.
We're just talking.
Yeah,
I love like
yeah.
we have an spectrum.
Yeah.
If you think this next one is gonna be real,
Yeah, this is good.
fun. You're just gonna laugh at these dorks.
Yeah.
If you think this segment is depressing, guys, wait till you see the next segment. We're gonna talk about the anti-civil rights movement.
Oh God.
All right, we're back. All right, listen. Now the South is just not just guilty as it is. It's the most open in the South, but and it's all over the country. They're just different about it. So back in the day, listen, you guys went about MLK in high school, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, all that.
High school, fuck elementary, dude.
Elementary school. Sorry, give me elementary school is when we feel swing about it.
Not to mention documentary.
Everyone knows that. You know, the people were against the civil rights movement, but no, I don't think a lot of people realize how fucking widespread it was. How brutal it was. Just like this is like you're taking away my power type of thing.
Yeah.
All right. This article is on allthat'sinteresting.com. It is by Genevieve Collison and edited by Jacqueline Ames Lewis. Published on September 8th, 2020. And updated in December 18th, 2025. So this was like under the height of all that George Floyd stuff. Inside the anti-civil rights movement that drew support from Boston to San Francisco to Montgomery. While many Americans are taught that the civil rights movement was localized in the South in the 1950s and the 60s, the reality is that the struggle was brutal all over the country.
Yeah.
What the... All right, this is a picture of pro-segregation members of SPONGE, Society of the Prevention of Negroes and Everything. They get core Congress of Racial Equality Workers outside of the New York Pavilion at the World's Fair in 1965.
He called himself Sponge. What is it?
SPONGE, Society of the Prevention of Negroes Getting Everything.
That's crazy.
I am Jim Crow and I shall live forever.
I can't. These are getting everything communism?
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there was something going on with the communist movement too, and
That ended into it too because it was all fucking crazy.
That's like calling it communist because it was like easier to dehumanize it. In 1956, the U.S. Senator Harry Byrd of Virginia responded to the civil rights movement by rallying against the national desegregation of public schools. He said, "If we can organize the Southern states for massive resistance to this order, I think that in time the rest of the country will realize that racial integration is not going to be accepted in the South." In practice, this massive resistance often meant harassing black students, bombing schools, and attacking civil rights activists. But even though Byrd's call to action spoke to many white Southerners, opposition to the civil rights movement was certainly not restricted to the South. In 1963, polls showed that 78% of white Americans would leave their neighborhoods if black families moved in.
Damn.
Meanwhile, 60% of them had an unfavorable view of Martin Luther King Jr.'s March on Washington. From New York to California, the anti-civil rights movement was widespread throughout the country, and many white Americans were not afraid to say they supported it.
Wow. Holy fuck! Isn't that considered green?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Jesus.
A family watches a KKK cross burning in front of their car in an undisclosed location in the South in 1956.
That's cool.
Sheldon lads are the Negro's best friend, the military tradition. Oh, just because you let them in the neighborhood, because they won't look if they won't look you in the eye. Yeah, they're your friend.
And then right there in that picture, I could see the mother telling the child, he said, You see those black folks? Don't talk to them.
That's wild.
I said, just know that we special.
My parents didn't let me play with kids in Worcester when I was like 11, and I think that's because they didn't like the kids in Worcester.
Okay,
Yeah, and I feel like they kind of, I don't know. At first, white Americans tried to preserve all white neighborhoods using the law, but if the law failed, they sometimes turned to terrorism. In the 1950s, Center Street was the color line of Birmingham, Alabama. White families traditionally lived on the west side of Center Street, but after black families began moving into the area, the bombings began. There were 40 post-bombings that took place in Birmingham between the 40s and the mid-60s, a historic
40 some unsolved bombings.
unsolved.
Bombings. So they just created a fucking rice cooker or whatever the fuck they had. And fuck this. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
But they even kill those ones. Oh god, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. Oh my god. Those bombings terrorized black homeowners and gave Center Street a new nickname, Dynamite Hill.
Right?
Dynamite. I'm sorry. Wow. I didn't even know that.
Dynamite Hill. Oh, when my dad was a kid,
God. By the time Birmingham itself had already been given its own notorious nickname.
Yeah.
Wow. Jesus, dude.
So listen, this is kind of a, they acknowledge now it was wrong, but my grandparents, they weren't okay with the civil rights movement, but when I was a kid, when my dad was a kid, they had a pet cat named JB. And it was named after JB Stoner. Let me show you who JB Stoner is. Yeah, show me how to.
I don't know who that is. What's his name? Jesse?
JB Stoner.
Benjamin's don't wait, a white supremacist who perpetrated the 19 of the Baptist Church.
Yeah, in Birmingham. And he wasn't convicted until like 1980. Oh my god, it was like, so they do.
So you think that it was a white cat?
There was a white cat, yeah.
Of course it's a white cat. Of course. It would not have been a black cat.
It would have been like,
It's a cat. What the no, it's had to be a white cat. Of course.
Yeah, no black on him whatsoever. He even have a black fucking nose.
That's like that funny.
Yeah, I know. Something I noticed about the Ku Klux Klan too. Have you noticed that they're like really obsessed with black people?
Yeah, like too much, bro. Like,
yeah,
you know.
I know, it's weird. It's like, all right, at first, members of the Ku Klux Klan burned the doors of the homes that black people moved into. Sometimes they would fire shots into the night. But soon came the dynamite, which was often thrown by the white supremacists. Terrorism was nothing new to us, said Jeff Dye, who grew up on Dynamite. Jeff Drew, who grew up in Dynamite.
You.
We were terrorized back in the 50s and 60s almost every day. It was commonplace. Drew even remembers the Klan calling his father to say, "We gonna bomb your house tonight?" Drew's father responded, "What you call me for? Come on, do it right now. You don't have to call me, just come on," and hung up the phone. Oh, he wasn't scared. I feel like they kind of pissed him off even more.
He got tired.
Yeah. The bombers targeted the home of civil rights warrior Arthur Shores multiple times. More shot through the windows were frequent, so Hill and Shores, Lee, Arthur's daughter. We had a ritual we followed. You hit the floor and you crawled to safety. Oh, man.
Yeah. That was down. Yeah, it was crazy, man. Very violent.
Yeah. And those folks claim to be Christians. That's the thing.
Yeah.
There were the type of guys that thought that Jesus was like a cowboy or whatever. Oh my God, so racial violence affected many American cities. The Cicero arrived in 1951. After just one black family moved into a white neighborhood in Cicero, Illinois, a mob of 4,000 white people attacked the entire apartment building.
Jesus.
What the fuck?
Wow. Cicero. Yeah. How far is Cicero from Chicago?
Let me see. Cicero.
Stoner.
Illinois.
Yeah, man. And Cicero, let's see. 30 minutes away.
Oh, so it's like right out. It's like basically like a suburb of Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago's very okay. Yeah.
I had a feeling because it just seemed like
Oh my god. Listen,
wow.
okay, listen. It's one thing to think, to not let certain people in your neighborhood because you think that they're gonna turn it bad. I understand that. Every culture thinks like that. It's another thing for 4,000 people to attack an entire building.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's a mob. That's a huge mob. That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So this was like the second worst time for race relations in the country.
Yeah.
The 1910s and the 1900s were even worse. 1919 had more race riots. There was an entire summer where just race riots. It was called the Red Summer.
Yeah. I heard about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and Chicago, basically, there was this hell bent, cultural idea to just maintain white supremacy at all costs, literally all costs. Oh my god, it was crazy shit, dude. And listen, just because some black people are gonna get their lives better, that doesn't mean more power is gonna be depleted. You know what I mean? Boddingham was not the only place where black residents faced threats of violence. Similar incidents occurred in other cities across America. In Philadelphia, more than 200 black people who tried to buy homes at the edges of the city's segregated districts were attacked during the first 6 months of 1955 alone. And in Los Angeles, over 100 African Americans were targeted with violence when they intended to move out of the segregated neighborhoods between 1950 and 1965. On July 11, 1951, one of the biggest race riots in history erupted after just one black family moved into an apartment in an all-white town of Cicero, Illinois. The husband, Harvey Clark Jr., was determined to get his wife and 2 kids out of the bed on Chicago's south side. But when the World War II veteran tried to move his family into this new place, the sheriff told him, "Get out of here fast. There will be no moving into this building." Yeah, they came back from World War II. So you're all right, I fought for this country. Give us rights right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and other World War II veterans were Ku Klux Klan members. They were just fuck no. Yeah, it was crazy, dude. After Clark returned with the court order in hand, he finally moved his family's belongings into the apartment, but they weren't able to stay a single night in their new home due to the racist white mob that had gathered outside. Before long, the mob numbered up to 4,000 people. Even after the family fled, the mob didn't leave. Instead, they stormed into the apartment, threw the furniture out the window, and tore out the sinks. Wow. Jesus Christ! I don't understand thinking like this.
And even firebombed.
Then they firebombed the entire building, leaving even the white tenants without a home. That's so dumb.
The irony and the type of rage you have to not
even your white brother. I think so. White brothers. Yeah. Listen, it's not about nationalism. It's about power.
Yeah.
And listen. You can tell when someone's truly full white people. Ku Klux Klan. They were fucking with Irish immigrants. They were fucking with they were Italians.
Yeah, those just full blood a lot. Yeah, they ain't fucking the Polish either.
Yeah, man. A total of 118 men were arrested for rioting, but none of them were ever indicted. Said the agent and the owner of the apartment building were indicted for causing the riot by renting a black family in the first place.
So the idiot. What the fuck?
Believe that. Race massacres were nothing new in America. Even before the Civil Rights Movement kicked off in the 1950s, the country was plagued by riots like this one in Detroit in 1946.
Sorry, he raised his fucking arm, huh?
Yeah, he was in the army.
Was he alive?
I don't know.
Hell no. No, he's dead.
Yeah, I used to use that. He did. And the guy on the right is smart.
Jesus.
Dude. Yeah, this will definitely help your white brothers. Oh my god, you see that? Wow. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that the people in that apartment building probably didn't even put air.
But this is what I mean. So there's people that lived through this time that are still alive, and then they taught the boomers how to fucking hate people. And once that I'm just saying, once that whole generation's gone, I think we're gonna be in a better place, hopefully. But I think, hold on, just hoping and praying, because I think some of it is hided in the way people speak. But like you're saying, it's way hidden. It's totally hidden in the way people speak. But I definitely feel that, like you say, I think if people don't want people that do a lot of dumb shit and crime-ridden places, you know what I mean? That's fine. I don't want to fucking live there. I'm not visiting there. It's cool, but like, to just do shit like this is fucking heinous.
Yeah. No.
You know?
What's one healthy thing keeping American neighborhoods segregated? Several government policies play the role as well. The Federal Housing Administration, FHA, which was formed in 1934, often refused to insure mortgages in and near African American neighborhoods. This policy is now known as redlining, and it was commonplace all across the country. It still is. Some cities also enacted zoning policies to keep neighborhoods segregated. For instance, exclusionary zoning banned multiple family homes and apartments in certain areas, limiting black residents' access to all white neighborhoods. Meanwhile, the FHA manual argued that incompatible racial groups should not be permitted to live in the same communities. The FHA even recommended racial covenants where neighborhoods promised to never rent or sell their property to a black buyer.
Easy. Interesting, huh?
Yeah, so it was even... So this is what the thing is. When they say institutionalized racism, that's what they're talking about. That's what they're talking about. You know what I mean? That's what they talk about.
So that's what it means.
Like, they couldn't do this shit. You're not talking about the fucking white man or this and that. Like, they fucking went all through this shit.
They went the banks. The banks,
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. No, of course. This is why, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like, it's right. Yeah, and okay, you guys already said it. All right, oh, Tony, I got a question. Were you ever discriminated against in New York City?
Since very few, because remember, my neighborhood was consistent of Hispanics, mostly Puerto Ricans, blacks. Blacks. Even though there was a lot of fights with blacks and Puerto Ricans. I'm not gonna lie about that. I think that was more of ignorance that was going on, because then there was a few whites, but the whites I noticed they used to come to our neighborhood. They were from Queens.
Yeah.
And we knew they were like from Cypress Hill.
Oh shit.
From that area.
Oh damn.
Yeah, and they would come there to start problems.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, we knew and as soon as we saw them, not only did we know they're not from there, we knew that, oh shit, they're starting problems. Right. And we knew they were from Queens. But it was mostly black and Puerto Ricans. Yeah.
I saw this one video in it was like a suburb in New York, and there were basically this like black. It was like in 1974, and basically this one black girl, and her sister, they were riding bikes, and this like fucking 30 white kids just came out there and was like, get out of this neighborhood,
Yeah.
And they had just 6 smiles on their face. They were throwing hits with salutes. And they was yelling white power, throwing hit with salutes, and this one kid has this smile from his face. He's like, I don't like Negroes. They're just here to cause trouble. It's like, cause trouble? She wasn't fucking doing anything.
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right. During segregation, white parents withdrew their children from school.
Yeah.
When Elizabeth Eckford arrived at school in 1957, her fellow students attacked her for angering in their classes. Retails are still alive today.
Yes, and they're not alive.
Yeah. The battle over school segregation. Little Rock. Yeah. The battle over school segregation didn't end when the Supreme Court ruled it unconstitutional in 1981. For decades, countless black parents continued to fight against desegregating schools. They pulled their kids out of public schools, moved them into private schools where they only be around white children, and harassed any black students who wanted to integrate. The parents.
The parents,
Yeah. On September 4th, 1957, 9 black teenagers arrived at Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas for the first day of class. When 15-year-old Elizabeth Eckford showed up to the former all-white school, an Indian mob and armed soldiers blocked her path. I remember this tremendous feeling of being alone. X-ray later recalled. I didn't know how I was going to get out of there. I didn't know whether I would be injured. There was this deafening roar. I could hear individual voices, but I was not conscious of numbers. I was conscious of being alone. White students refused to enter the school until soldiers turned away the black students. Many teens said if black students were allowed in, they would refuse to attend class. Wow. White students taught black students for the waste sign outside of Baltimore High School. But it was a sunset. Southerners don't not Negroes.
Even though
It's funny how they're following. Yeah. Wow.
If you don't want to be around them, what? Don't follow them. Don't be anywhere near them. Listen, guys, the United States would not be anywhere near. It would not be nothing without black people, especially in the South. All right, black people built this country. Black people, created our culture. Like I don't know. I'm not one to speak on Black history a lot, but Black history is American history.
right.
So
I agree.
So yeah, so that seeing shit like this just makes me think, oh, I live around Negroes and my kids go to school with Negroes. There's class problem. Like, shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Great. All right. It took more than 2 weeks before the Little Rock Nine were finally allowed to attend classes. But a furious mob still surrounded the school, threatening the black students trying to rush inside. After just 3 hours of classes, the students were sent home for their own safety.
Yeah.
And for the rest of the school year, white high schools continued to harass the Little Rock Nine.
Yeah.
Although intimidation didn't keep the school segregated, the state soon passed a new law allowing school districts to shut down to avoid integration. So during the 1958 to 1959 school year, Little Rock closed 4 high schools.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
This forced thousands of students, including white students, out of class.
I didn't know. Yeah, they do.
Look, I don't think they understand this. Racism is affecting white people just as it's affecting other people.
Yeah.
You go continue. Because listen, you hear all these white power groups. How many of them do you think start free lunch programs? How many of them do you think start coat drives? How many of them do you think let non-white people join them? How many of them do you think protect their neighborhood from police harassment? How many of them do you think try to keep their community nice? How many of them do you think what else? Preach kindness.
Evil.
I see. Oh my god! Listen, my family's from the South, so I grew up seeing this. They were pro-white until you didn't support segregation.
Yeah.
If you were, oh my god,
You have lost where we
basically, my great grandfather, his name was Bill Hall, and he flew planes in the Pacific during World War II. He actually wanted to take my grandmother out of the University of Georgia because it was integrated. Yeah, and my family, they remember him as a sweet man.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the crazy part about all this. It's normal people who thought like this.
Yeah.
I agree. No, it was your lawyers, it was your doctors, it was people that
Educated people.
Yeah.
Educated people.
Right.
Yes. Police officers. Our politicians. Yeah, I mean, I go down to this. Also, I just want to add about this part here that the state closed the school during 1958, 1959, and then of course that affected, including white people, thousands of students, white people. This is the same thing that happened with the 4,000 mobs, that went after that one family, but then also there was white tenants, and they got some of it. They got some of it too.
Yeah.
Because, wait a minute, we're not done, too late. We're going in, we're going to wreck your life. So white people got hurt too.
Yeah.
So white is there, and then these students got affected. They used Bill Clinton, but for his, but I think it was used on.
So you would have not been in high school or
Clinton.
He's from Little Rock. That's what.
He's from Little Rock. He was born in 1940. So he was in 11. Damn. So he was
a little boy.
Yeah.
So he wasn't like a high schooler doing just shit.
No, who was it? He wasn't in high school.
20 minutes in Arkansas.
Yeah, it was 56 would be 10.
Oh, so he went to Georgetown in 68 and then to Yale. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And just think about Clinton. He was one of the people that was pushing like the '94 crime bill. Like he let this like disabled guy in Arkansas. He was a black guy. He didn't even know the black guy. I forget his name, but he didn't even understand that he was going to be executed.
Yeah.
He wanted to get executed.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. No, we're right here. All right, moving back to the article. Sometimes politicians encourage the counter movement against integration. 1963, Alabama Governor Jordan Wallace
Yeah, I remember that.
intervened to stop Tuskegee High School students from integrating encouraging black students from attending classes. In a matter of days, every single white student at the school had transferred, with most enrolling at an all-white private school. Tuskegee High School was forced to close in January 1964.
Wow.
Yeah, God. All right, white protesters threatened to kill a black 6-year-old. These dorks. Protesters at the Little Rock State Capitol carried signs reading "Race mixing is communism" and "Stop the race mixing march of the anti-Christ."
I see it. I see
when
This 1955 rally protested the intervention of Little Rock students. So let me guys ask you something. Do you think if a white person being like this, they're secure in being white?
I personally know.
No.
Yeah, because I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, okay.
I don't think so.
No.
I'm thinking about it.
No.
Nah.
I'm gonna figure it out. Because you know what it is? Like, I'll just throw this out there. This is how I think. It's kind of like the way that, like, how victim mentality is now.
Yeah,
They have a very victim mentality. Yeah, in the sense of, like, they feel they're being victimized when they're the fucking people that are actually, like, the ones not being. You're not losing shit, man. Like, dude, you're not, you know. Like, dude, like, come on, though. Like, you know, and this is the sad truth that a lot of people had to fucking deal with. And there's aunties and great grandmothers and grandmothers that went through this shit that, you know what I mean, that are still alive, that I love. I love you guys to death, you know what I mean? You guys are the shit, you know what I mean? So I think that we have to understand this, you know? We have to have these conversations. They're tough. We should always, but they're honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We should be honest and talk about it.
Yeah, because, you know, be real, though. Be real, you know, real. Because racism will stop if we stop talking about racism, but we can't stop talking about history.
No, we can talk about. I love talking about history.
And I think a lot of history today that we talk about is all fucking bullshit because it is written by the winners. But shit like this, dude, like
This happened.
So this is something we always should be talking about
And learn from.
That's where it's a learning way. You know what I mean? Talking about this, we'll just, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a learning way of talking about it. It's not a way of making people think like this.
Oh yeah, this is history. Like the reason like I'm pretty secure in my white is just because I learned about like the shit my ancestors did. You know what I'm saying? You know, like for example, the Balkans. They're the first white people, right? Mm-hmm. Have you ever got a Balkan diamond like this?
No.
And it's because they have nothing proved because they have more to offer than just being white. I feel like the guys who think like this have more to offer. I don't have anything to offer except for being white.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Little Rock was not an isolated incident. Across the South, the White Citizens Council signed up 60,000 members who carried out a massive resistance to the desegregation of public schools. Not only did they harass black students and activists, they also blatantly encouraged racial violence. At one White Citizens Council's rally in Alabama, a handbill declared when in the course of human events it becomes necessary to abolish the Negro race, proper methods should be used. What? Abolish the Negro race?
That is proper methods should be used. Among them are guns, bow and arrows, slingshots, and knives.
Jesus Christ! They were open. Fucking shit! That's how.
Yeah. They said we gotta wake them up. Yeah. They would know they had a plan. They was like, we're gonna do this. This is gonna be our plan to abolish the Negro race. Proper methods should be used. Among them are guns, bow, and arrows.
All arrows is fucking crazy.
Yeah, but with the
Arrows, just started with guns, but then you go to slingshot.
what about slingshot?
Yeah.
Yeah, slingshot. Who can you kill with a slingshot?
Well, you slingshot easily.
Yeah, you
Tough rock.
If David killed Goliath, you a slingshot.
You
can kill.
just kill someone.
You can kill somebody with a slingshot.
All right, this is a what the fuck. All right, just one day after Hattie Cotton Elementary School integrated in 1957.
So they kill him. So they get there. There's like that's the problem when you do bombings.
Yeah, they don't care about white people. No.
No.
Yeah.
You see,
Really big for probably a fucking elementary school.
yeah, tell you, and they don't care.
Protect the children.
Yeah, from you. From you, yeah, because you're going to even white just said in India, they're going to get some too. Yeah, they're going to get a fire.
Yeah.
Well, black high schoolers were often targeted with harassment. Some segregationists lashed out at students who were far younger. In 1960, Ruby Bridges, who was still alive, by the way, became the first black student attending all-white elementary school in the South, and she was greeted by an angry white mob. The pushback against the 6-year-old was so intense that she needed federal marshals to escort her to and from class for her own safety. Some of the protesters directly threatened violence against her, screaming, "We're going to poison her! We're going to hang her!" One white woman had taunted Rudy with a small coffin that held a black doll.
Wow, look at her.
In 1960,
6-year-old.
the U.S. Marshals escorted Ruby Bridges to and from school buildings through card processes, some of her threatened to kill her. A 6-year-old kid.
Yeah, I know, 6. I can't believe it.
Because in their mind, she's not a kid.
Yeah, she's a thing.
Yes.
She's not human. She's not human.
Yeah, like, and 3/5 of a human.
Yeah.
At the demand of white parents, the principal put Ruby in a class of 1 with the only teacher at the school who would agree to educate a black child. During lunchtime, Ruby ate alone, and during recess, she prayed alone. Along with tormenting the child, the white segregationists also targeted her family. Ruby's father was fired from his job, and her grandparents were kicked off their farm. Grocery stores refused to sell food to Ruby's mother. The anti-civil rights movement was determined to stop desegregation from happening in the first place, but if schools did end up integrating, opponents vowed to make integration as difficult as possible.
Yep.
Opponents of civil rights attacked activists. This is what I was talking about. You know, the racists attacking the people standing up for the people who they defending.
Yep.
During a 1968 march in Chicago, headless hit Dr. Martin Luther King in the head with a rock. Beatings, lynchings, and bombings became the most violent tools of the anti-civil rights movement. Perhaps one of the most shocking cases was the Freedom Summer murders. In 1964, a Mississippi deputy sheriff arrested 3 civil rights activists, Andrew Goodman, James Shane, and Michael Schwerner. This was the Mississippi burning.
No, I remember this.
Yes. These 3 men had initially traveled to Mississippi to register black voters. However, they also wanted to investigate the church burnings in the area. But after they set out to investigate, that's when they were arrested. The deputy sheriff first acted like he was going to let them go, but then he arrested them again and handing them over to the Ku Klux Klan. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Ku Klux Klan was ran by the sheriff's department. The Klan members shot and killed all 3 of them. Yep. While the murders were put on trial, a sympathetic jury found them not guilty because the jury had their ego stroked by these guys.
Yeah.
All right. In their mind, the Ku Klux Klan are the real heroes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Eventually, the federal government charged the killers with violating the civil rights of Brennan, Schwer, and Cheney. This time they were convicted, but they only served a sentence ranging from 2 to 10 years.
Yep.
Because again, these guys saw them as heroes.
Here again, they saw him.
Yeah. There's no question that civil rights activists felt unsafe in the South, but that didn't mean the North was much better. In fact, some activists even felt less comfortable in northern states. Because like in the South, you can get close if you don't get too high. But in the North, you can get high as long as you don't get too close.
Yep.
On August 5th, 1966, the Martin Luther King led a march through an all-white neighborhood in Chicago. And in response, cameras protesters threw bottles and bricks at the demonstrators. One rock struck King right in the head. I've seen many demonstrations in the South, but I have never seen anything so hostile and so hateful as I've seen here today, King said of the Chicago March.
Yeah.
Benny Oliver, from a police officer, kicks Memphis Norman, a black student who placed an order at a segregation orange counter in Mississippi in 1963. Onlookers cheered the beating.
Yeah, you can see back there in the background. They go, yeah, kick 'em. Yeah. That's it. They're encouraging. It's the support, like you said.
Yeah. But civil rights leaders didn't back down in the face of violence. Instead, they devised a strategy to harness the hostility to fuel their movement. On March 7, 1965, civil rights demonstrators crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama to find a wall of signature Briggs County fairs and white counter-protesters with Confederate flags. When the troops advanced, the protesters braced themselves for a brutal attack. And the cameras were rolling, capturing every vicious beating in sight. Just weeks before the march in the Selma, King had told a Life magazine photographer not to put down his camera to help protesters when authorities attacked them during the marches. The world doesn't know this happened because you didn't photograph it, King scolded. After the Selma march, nearly 50 million Americans watched ruthless assault, now known as Bloody Sunday, on the televisions.
Yeah.
However, many of those Americans criticized civil rights activism during the 1960s. A 1961 Gallup poll reported that 61% of Americans disapproved of the Freedom Riders, while only 22% approved, because they blamed them for the violence.
Yes.
So in the night, it's never the white person's fault.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that was back then. Yeah.
The poll also found that 57% of Americans believed protesters like sit-ins at lunch counters were hurting the cause of integration, while just 28% believed the demonstrations were helping. So they noticed that some people approve the cause. The white public also widely dislikes civil rights leaders. A 1966 poll found that 63% of Americans had a negative view of Martin Luther King Jr. And after he was assassinated in 1968, a study of white school children in the South found that 73% of the boys were indifferent to or pleased by Dr. King's murder.
The indifference to or pleased. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that was the 60s. I mean, I think we've done enough studies. I've done enough research in the history about the 60s.
Yeah.
They were brutal. Yeah. Very brutal for the black community. Yeah, and activism too.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Oh my God! Galarza standing up because he's like, this is making him so angry.
Yeah.
And this fucking shade on it.
Yeah, and get that recognition.
Authorities used their power to curb civil rights. A 1955 article in the Montgomery Advertiser warned the white man's economic artillery is far superior, better in place, and commanded by more experienced gunners. Second, the white man holds all the offices of government machinery. There will be a white rule for as far as the eye can see. Are those not the facts of life? The rival systems served as a tool of control to uphold this white rule. Police often ignore violence against black victims. Juries usually refuse to convict white defendants accused of crimes against black people. And civil rights demonstrators were typically labeled as criminals. Meanwhile, politicians rallied against the civil rights movement on the basis of protecting white people. Oh, from what? No, protecting them from themselves, because the Ku Klux Klan was killing white people too.
Yeah, they were.
To fight to protect our racial identity is basic to our whole civilization. This is still quite Senator James Eastland of Mississippi in 1955. This guy does not realize that, Mississippi would not even exist without fucking white people, dude. At the 1964 Republican National Convention, the Ku Klux Klan members came out to support Barry Goldwater. In Alabama, George Wallace made his position on the civil rights movement crystal clear in 1963. During his inaugural address, Wallace promised segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever. I saw a video, everyone's like clapping behind him, they're like sharing
I believe
that was wild.
I believe.
Leroy ran for president in 1968 as an independent. He lost the election, but he still won a few southern states: Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Louisiana, and Mississippi. He also snagged over 10% of the vote in a few northern states, such as Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana. All in all, he netted 36 electoral votes total. Damn.
For independent, that's fucking
Our independence.
During the late 19... Yeah, exactly. During the late 1960s, politicians began to call for law and order, a thinly veiled suggestion that the legal system should suppress civil rights demonstrators. According to the segregationists, civil disobedience and integration were to blame for the increase in crime. Shortly after Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, a Nebraska paper were published a letter arguing that he caused violence and destruction and riots and chaos. And as a result, no one should honor his memory. Wow.
Yeah. Goddamn, dude.
California gun control measures targeted the Black Panthers. And this is something that a lot of people don't talk about. Because, like, the Black Panthers, they were kind of defending, like, black communities from violence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Two odd members of the Black Panther Party at the state capitol in Sacramento in 1967. So, basically, in Chicago, Fred Hampton, what he did was he organized the Black Panthers, and he actually got white Southerners who were coming up from Chicago to join him, and they were like Confederate flag-waving rednecks, and so he recognized that they were poor, and he got them all together, and he got the Puerto Ricans together, he got the blacks together, he got the white Southerners together, and you can see like people with rebel flag bandanas, feeding, little black kids in soup kitchens. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. 1967, three Black Panthers showed up to the steps of California State Capitol armed with 357 Magnums, 12-gauge shotguns, and 35 caliber pistols. The time has come for black people to arm themselves, the Black Panthers declared. See, if they were white, they'd be called heroes. But since they're black, they're called terrorists. In response to the African-American activists carrying weapons in California and weapons, California passed some of the strictest gun laws in the country, with the backing of the National Rifle Association.
Alright, it's fucking wild. Wow, over there.
In the mid-1960s, the Black Panthers began openly carrying guns to protest violence against the white community and underscore their public statements about the subjugation of African Americans. Black Panthers and opium also trailed police cars and offered free legal advice to African Americans pulled over by the police. While the Black Panthers were already a controversial group, the sight of armed black men in the streets utterly shocked California politicians, including the state's then governor, Ronald Reagan.
Everything was crazy.
Reagan. Yeah. In 1967, the legislature passed the Mulford Act, a state bill prohibiting the open carry of loaded firearms, along with the added prohibiting loaded firearms in the state capitol. It was clearly a response to the Black Panthers. The American people in general and the Black people in particular, Black Panther co-founder Bob Lee Stewart declared, must take careful note of the racist California legislature aimed at keeping the black people strong and powerless.
Yep.
Jesus Christ, Callous. All right, now for our home turf. Boston School and Sydney Road, yeah. 1974.
Yeah.
They might say Boston ain't racist.
My dad said that by the 70s, that way of thinking kind of was died down.
No,
in the South, yeah. but in Boston,
No, I believe it. I mean, I think it certain, I call them strongholds.
Yeah.
Certain area was still racist. So
Yeah.
eventually when they went to the area, the neighborhood, that's when the clash began. So there was certain neighborhood that even though in the 70s, people say, oh, racism is over. No, there's still some strongholds on there. And once they started to push on that area, the reacting, that's how you found out, oh my God, Boston.
Yeah.
Boston is, yeah, exactly.
You got Roxbury and Dorchester, motherfucker. Like, they'll come over to the north end.
Yeah, they'll come to the north end. That's where the Italians are.
They'll do that, and that is.
the anti-civil rights movement didn't die out after the 1960s ended. It's still lingering in places all over America, with some of the most shocking examples in northern cities like Boston. On September 9th, 1974, over 4,000 demonstrators protested Boston's school desegregation plan. That year, a court-ordered school busing plan would attempt to integrate schools 20 years after Brown versus Board of Education.
Yeah.
A white city council member created Restore Our Alienated Rights to argue against busing. As Boston's yellow buses let out black students, some white people threw stones and bottles at the children. Police and combat gear were often used to control angry white protesters near the schools. In 1973, an anti-busing group held a protest against Boston's school busing plan. Crazy. Unlike desegregation protests in the late 1950s and 1960s, the language of the Boston protesters have changed. They were against busing and in favor of neighborhood schools by avoiding explicitly racist language while splitting white schools and neighborhoods, while white Bostonians positioned themselves as victims of an activist court order.
Yeah.
But as civil rights leaders Julian Bond put it, what people would oppose busing projects to is not the little yellow school buses, but rather the little black bodies that are on the bus, which was made shockingly clear by a blatant act of violence at one of the anti-busing demonstrators, one that was captured on camera.
Yeah, that's a famous picture.
Yeah.
That picture is right.
Yeah.
That's a famous picture. I remember seeing that.
Yeah. Knowing how slowly of Old Glory, Jesus Glory. Yeah. This photo would later won a Pulitzer Prize for breaking news photography, Boston, Massachusetts, 1976. On April 5th, 1976, a black warrior named Ted Landsmark was on his way to a meeting at Boston City Hall when he was suddenly attacked by a mob. Unbeknownst to Landsmark, he had accidentally walked into an anti-busing protest full of white demonstrators. Before he knew it, he was surrounded. The first man who attacked him hit him from behind, knocking off his glasses and breaking his nose. Just moments after that, another man lunged at him with a sharp point of a flagpole with the American flag attached.
Yes.
The Landsmark would say that the entire incident took about 7 seconds, but since the news photographer captured the snapshot, this moment would be preserved forever as Souling of Old Glory. Response to the desegregation, many white families left the school district altogether. In 1974, white students made up over half of the 86,000 students in Boston public schools. By 2014, fewer than 14% of students in Boston public schools were white. You mean? God damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Boston.
Listen, there's wanting to be around people who are like you and trying to prevent people who are underneath you getting above because
Yeah, this is a
Mess with you.
example. Holy shit.
oh my god. Do I see how the anti-Semitic movie? Oh, this is a hoot. On June 18th, 1964, black and white protesters jump into the whites-only pool at Monson Motor Lodges in St. Augustine, Florida. In an attempt to force him out,
Oh, yeah.
hotel owner
Dumped acid.
James Brock dumps acid into the water.
Acid.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. All right, in 1963,